Hey,
Come on!
All right.
Hey, didn't even give us a countdown.
What? It's.
Remember, they always used to give us a.
I know, but then they went like this. They went a little tiny screen like this. It was just narrow. You could only see this much, this much. So we need to go sideways and this much.
Hey man,
What?
we're live. Hi, welcome to Northwest Brewmeisters.
That's my line.
That's his line.
He says, "Well, you can take it."
I'm Steve.
And I'm Jamie.
We're this couple guys in the Pacific Northwest who like beer.
You know, and think you should too.
I know, I probably did twice your
You
lines.
destroyed it. I have it smooth as
He does,
like
he does.
glass.
I thought I'd have some fun and stir the pot a little bit. But anyway.
I threw off my groove now, man. I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry, I was just having fun. Go ahead, take over.
You're allowed to have fun. That's right. All right. So what Steve said, what I said, yada yada. So we missed last time because life. Man, it was horrible. I don't know why. Well, I know why we didn't bother broadcasting because we always brew when we broadcast. It's our thing. We brew. We broadcast. We brew. That's what we like to do. So I drove all the way down there.
That's right.
Picked up the brew kit, and somebody, not me, actually, not me.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were questioning like which one of us goofed on that one.
Right. No, it wasn't you either. It was them. Them. As much as we like our brew supply store, they didn't put the whole kit together. Not 100% their fault. They kept the yeast and the hops in the fridge. That's nice.
Right.
And then we drove away with the liquid malt extract and a bag of grains, which we could have brewed that up, and it would have tasted disgusting.
Awful.
Absolutely gross. I mean, beyond gross. I've drank like straight, like without the hop stuff. It's not good.
Just to try it, yeah.
Yeah, just let's try this. Nope.
Ooh, no, we're doing that again.
Right up there with camel's milk and squid intestines.
Sorry, this is really bothering me. Okay. It was like leaning towards the motorcycle.
Okay, OCD boy. Although actually, he doesn't have OCD.
There's something on there that I don't want to fall on the bike. I would.
That's fine. How long has that been leaning like that?
I don't know. I just noticed it's like, oh. As I rudely interrupt Jamie's diatribe here.
That's okay. So anyhow, long story short, we drove all the way down there. We picked up half of a brew kit, didn't have the yeast, didn't have the hops, and after we got back, didn't have the desire to brew. And then other things happened too, and so it just went south. So anyways, here we are, a month since our last broadcast. Somebody has not been drinking his breakfast beers, and so we're only brewing one batch of beer.
I have a lot of beer, had a lot of beer in the pipeline. In fact, today I just finally kegged the strong ale, which is what we've referred to in the past as Resurrection Strong Ale. And then yesterday I transferred or racked my Irish Red, which was on the last broadcast, into its secondary. So I'm kind of behind the curve a little bit on my timelines. Mainly just being busy, a little bit lazy. Just being brew, I just kind of like figured I'd take a little break. Yeah, we didn't brew, so I figured I'd take a break.
Right.
Yeah. Just like constantly pow, getting everything moved.
Oh, fair enough.
But it's all moved now. I'll be ready to brew again on the next broadcast. So in about 2 weeks, I'll have a kit ready. By that time, the strong ale will probably either be done and consumed, and then the red ale will be going into a keg. I still have a little bit of the stout left.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I'll float that thing today because I think there was more than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was really light, but I picked it up and just kind of gauged it, and I'm like, yeah, there's a little bit more than I thought.
It's like the keg of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Any D&D fans will catch that reference.
Yeah, it just seems to keep having beer after we keep drinking it. It's amazing. So, speaking of the Resurrection Strong Ale, I took a little taste test, as usual.
Yeah, of course.
And if anybody's tuning in who's been with us for a while, they'll remember that we both thought the first Resurrection Strong Ale was just way too sweet.
Right.
Guess what was not sweet this time? The Resurrection Strong Ale. It was actually good. I mean, it wasn't concerning where I was like, oh, this is sweet. You know what I mean?
So you're saying it was good out of the primary?
It was good out of it was good out of the rack. It went in the keg.
Oh, it's in the keg.
Yeah, it's in the keg.
Oh, I thought it was good. I don't know. I thought it was the primary one that I thought was just kind of like, meh, it's beer.
Yeah, that one was man, but I'm referring to when we tasted it. It was just really sweet, and I was disappointed and like, oh man. But then somehow not somehow, I know exactly what happened. The yeast, salvaged it. But in this case, the beer it wasn't overly sweet. So I was more happy with this pre-taste than I was with the first batch.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it comes out in the end.
I already opened it. Yes! Flame!
I did something slightly different too in this last batch. I gotta look at my notes. I don't remember what notes off my head. Let me bring up the Zin notes.
Zin notes? What did you do?
Oh, and guess what's not in this note format? That recipe.
What?
No, that was the first one. That was the one that I did on paper first.
Oh.
Because that was my very, very first recipe that I designed from the ground up. And so I did it on a piece of notebook paper, which is in the office.
Because you're archaic.
But since then I've been using my phone.
Although I gotta tell you, I do like the idea of once a recipe we've determined, this is 100%, we like this. It'll make it, once it gets heavy and soft, all the way down. All the way down. Just scratch it a little. Okay, that's not working. Scratch, come on. It'll be fine. It's over all the greens.
What are you making anyway?
Beer. So this is the Temptation Ale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember what your kit was. I just remember that we got back to your house and it's like, we don't have all the components. So.
Right, that was so frustrating. But no, so this is the Temptation Ale, which is the one that tastes like a Kölsch.
Right,
kind of.
Right. Kölsch feels like a Kölsch style ale.
And then if I knew what a Kölsch tasted like, I would be able to tell you whether or not this one tastes like a Kölsch.
Well, if we want to get froggy one of these days, we can buy some Aslan Brewery. They make a Kölsch.
Yeah, they're the guys that made that classic lager that was the most boring beer.
I know.
Coors Light has.
Sorry, fellas, but that was like drinking water, man.
Seriously, Coors Light has more character than that classic lager.
Yeah.
It was amazingly just like, wow. I
just didn't know it was in a silver can, too.
It was a very boring silver can. It was in a boring silver can and boring beer came out of it.
I'm going to have to assist.
Okay.
That's grocery shopping.
Yes, grocery shopping. We need a better studio. Or we need to do this a different day or something.
Well, once the weather gets nice, we'll be doing it at your place.
Yeah, but
and when it's daylight longer,
you should still.
But
go
it's not like you can at your place too.
That's true. You've got a point. So anyhow, there's soda coming in under the garage door. So anyways, this Aslan brewery, which is actually not a bad brewery. They make some good beers, but tried this classic lager. I was like, I want just a lager. Nothing fancy, nothing, just a lager. Boy, was that a mistake. This stuff was boring, really bad. So anyhow, but apparently they make a Kölsch. I know some other folks make a Kölsch too, and what we really should do every time, we should have tasting videos. We should do some streaming where we taste these beers. I mean, once in a while we'll do a test where we'll do like an impromptu, throw up an iPad. It's like, hey, here we are, we're tasting this beer. It's like, oh, it's really good. Of course, that's what we always say. Oh, it's really good. We're not very good critics. We're not critical. We are not critical critics. Pretty much everything is really good. But we're gonna go ahead and brew this one. Somewhere I have a recipe. This is not a complex beer at all. Let's take a look here. Got 5 pounds crystal at 10 Lovabond, and 5 pounds. Haha, 0.5 pounds. Half a pound of crystal at 10 Lovabond, 10L, and then half a pound of Carapils. That are the steeping grains. That is the steeping grains. Those are the steeping grains. That's it. 6.6 pounds Pilsen liquid malt extract. And let's see, hops 1 is Hallertau. Put that in at 60 minutes. Hops 2 is Sass. Put that in at 10 minutes. Yeast is yeast 2565 Kölsch, 56 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Speaking of that, how warm is your house? What do you keep your house at?
I'm like upper 60s. It's not steady. Sometimes it drops in the evenings at night.
To 60?
I don't know.
55?
I keep thermostat set at a certain number, and then I don't touch it.
Yeah. I see.
But it doesn't seem to kick in always though. It's super electric heat. I hate it.
Now, the reason I asked is because my house is wildly erratic in the temperatures, right? Because I have my thermostat set at 60 degrees, which, by the way, 60 degrees is colder than most ales like to be brewed at.
Right.
They like 68,
Yeah,
65,
I keep my set
68.
at 65, 67 kind of thing.
So I'm thinking that's probably affecting some of my beers. In fact, I know it is.
It might be. Yeah.
Because at night, seriously, I got the thermostat set for 55. Because we're all snuggled up in blankies, we're fine. It's like get under the blankets, you're fine. If you go to bed at 1 in the morning, sometimes it's a real quick run. Out of the clothes, in the jammies, in the bed.
It's a little chilly. 1 in the morning.
Until you finally get warm under the blankets, and then you're fine. But point being, so I usually keep them in my studio because I've got that space heater down there for all the instruments. So I put them down there. But even then, I don't think I keep my studio that warm. I bet I keep my studio 65. Because I've got it set on set 1, that level 1 for that space heater.
Right.
I don't keep it very warm. So I think it'd be really cool to build a box. And inside the box, put the keg and like a heater and then a chiller. Put a chiller and a heater.
Yeah, there's that mat thing. It's like a mat. And you could use your Inkbird as well.
Right.
And you can set thresholds on it and it'll turn A and B off depending on what you need to maintain that temperature,
You know what I've heard of people doing is using dehydrators.
Dehydrators, huh?
Because dehydrators don't cook food, right? They just blow warm, dry air, right? So they top out at like 175. So if they're blowing down, it's not like you're going to superheat the top of your keg or anything. Like a space heater. Space heater, it's hot right in front of it. You don't.
Oh, sure.
It's like if you stick your hand right close to space heater, it's like, ouch. But dehydrators don't do that. And so they'll put the dehydrator like on the top, they'll mount it. And it's not all the racks, it's just the motor and the heating element.
Right.
And then they'll use it in Inkbird like that.
Right.
And then if it gets too cold, the Inkbird kicks on and it just kind of gently blows. And the dehydrator has a fan, so it moves the air around instead of just getting warm in one spot type deal. Or that mat thing, whatever. But I think that
would be for if you actually fermented inside your deep freezers,
Or you wouldn't even need that. You just build a box out of
any box
plywood.
That's what I was actually thinking was the mat thing, hooking it up to the Inkbird with the box, just to maintain a better temperature,
Yeah, just control the temperature.
Yeah.
That might be the next step we need to do. because that's a relatively inexpensive, easy step.
Get some wood, right?
Yeah, I've got a ton of insulation that I never use.
Oh, okay.
I used some of it to build my kegerator. Yep. For that top collar, I just stuffed it all in there.
You did a great job on that as well. It looks natural.
Yes, especially now that it has beer spilled all over it. It really looks natural.
It's not beer spilling. It's character.
It's gross. I need to clean my kegerator.
Yeah, I wiped out mine today
sticky.
When I was getting the keg out, so I to sanitize the keg for the Resurrection Ale Part 2.
Nice. Do you have a thermometer? A thermometer? This has been running for a couple minutes. You could also maybe turn the lights on.
Oh, sure.
I just thinking, it's like.
What day did God create light?
Before the first day.
Oh, okay.
In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." That was like the first thing. It's the first thing He did. Let there be light.
All right, I'm going to take off your sunglasses.
We're in the dark and you're wearing sunglasses.
I'm wearing my sunglasses in my dark garage.
I was thinking more Blues Brothers myself.
Oh, yeah.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. Got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark out and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. That's a great line. You see Ghostbusters Afterlife yet?
No, I've not seen that yet.
Shy.
What do you think?
I loved it. I would watch it again, and there are like.
I've heard of people saying.
In my history of watching movies, there might be 5 that I watched more than once.
Oh, wow.
Seriously,
that must have really made an impression on you if you really watch it again.
Well, I don't know.
Just knowing you for all these years, I know that movies aren't a big thing with you.
I don't. Which is weird because I'm a huge film score guy. I love film score music. I love
music, though.
Write music for film score. You're right. That's music. It is different.
But I know what you mean, though. It's associated with movies, and even though the movie itself is something that you don't really care about, Hi, we're broadcasting.
So, bye, girls.
So what I mean is, the music aspect of it definitely is much more important than the story.
Oh, yeah.
To you.
Yeah,
That's what I get
absolutely.
from you.
I listen a lot of times. I mean, there are certain movies that have become, there are traditions. We're like sitting at 104, so we're good for right now.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got everything over here.
You keep it.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to have it off. I have all the power.
Well, this is how we used to do. We used to always brew one back in the day.
I know, and then we started running out of beer.
I know, right?
And now you have too much beer. We gotta find a balance.
No, that's why I just decided to take a break so I could get through the beers I have in the pipeline, and then in the next 2 weeks,
I will help you.
Well, either today or soon we'll finish that stout, and then the Resurrection Ale will be ready to drink next weekend.
I'm just saying, I'm there for you.
So
you get off work. What time you get off work?
2 a.m.
I'll be here. I'll be ready to go. I'll be sitting on your front porch waiting. Randy won't shoot me if I'm sitting on her front porch at 2 a.m. will she?
No.
Okay, good. I'd rather not get shot when all I want is beer.
No, but the neighbor might be like, hey. They won't know because we're all black.
I'll park down the street.
She usually leaves the porch light on for me. That thing's bright. Like daylight.
You do have nice bright porch lights.
So.
And like my porch lights, I have drop lights up clamps to wood.
That bulb is what I think what they call like a daylight bulb. It's just
daylight. That is my preferred bulb. Wendy and I go the rounds. It's like, it's too bright. It's like I can't see anything. So certain lights, she gets her little soft light, which is too soft. It's like, oh look, it's dim, like a cave. I don't want to live in a cave.
We live in a cave. We live in the lights.
Yeah, I'm a human, daytime creature. Humans are diurnal. That's the term. Diurnal.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be in the daylight. You know the thing about this beer is it always looks gray.
I know. I noticed that with that last time we did those Kölsches. I'm like, wow.
This is gray. It's probably it's only 2 grains. Carapils and
oh yeah, that's right. I want to see that recipe. No.
1 crystal, half a pound of crystal at 10 Levamon. So
that's light, very light.
Super light.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently, I know we've said it before.
But it is a light beer.
It is. Well, the Kölsch,
light color beer is what I mean.
The Kölsch was, that was a fight because of the Reinheitsgebot of 1516, which you will see on all the Weinstefaner beers. Brewed according to the purity laws of 1516, which has come to me to tell me that they all taste the same. Which they don't, actually, because we had 3. Do you have one of those left, by the way? I think there's one still sitting in there.
Oh, I didn't notice. In there? There's something in there.
Are you sure? We drank all of the Weinstefaners?
I believe so, unless you left one in there.
No, I put them all in there. Okay, we could have drank them all. It's possible.
Because I took out 3 bottles when I took my glass in, the recycle bin, to the at the Safeway. I had 3 bottles of beer.
Well, that's what I brought over.
Okay,
3 bottles.
Yeah. The only thing that was left over, and admittedly I killed it last night, was one of those IPAs. It was the one that had like the
blue dot.
I think it was.
Yeah, because that's all I bought. I bought blue dot IPAs. So, in any case, the Kölsches were a way for the German brewers of the time.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, no, I got it. So they were trying to
trip on that.
Basically, they were trying to be competitive with other people who were brewing and selling beer.
Oh, okay.
And there were these other beers that were popular outside, probably what would have been, 16th century. So that Weimar? Would that be the Weimar Republic at the time?
Possibly.
I mean, well, I know it wasn't Germany.
I mean, I took Western Civ 1 in college, but I don't remember all that meant.
That's more civ than I take.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, those were beers.
Leaping beers. Leaping beers. That's really bad.
Oh, we're now rated PG.
That's okay.
You're not opening these anytime soon.
Put those up on top
Yeah,
so we know
yeah.
which ones they are.
Let's leave those away from the shelf so we don't accidentally get
I
them.
mean, I would find it hysterical, but
Of course you would. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife.
Yes, who laughs at us when the beers
Laughs at us.
explode in our hands.
Beer explodes in our
I
faces.
mean, it's funny.
It's not funny. It's a crime. It's a crime against humanity.
I'm sorry for going off the camera again. I'll be right back. Oh.
I have a feeling you're not committed here. Scorching up through the temperature range, up to 134. I should turn this down. Wrong way. So we don't go sailing off into 180 degrees. This whole detail part is not. That's why I brew with Steve. He's all about the details. He's good with that. Me, not so much. I forget things. Because admittedly, I'm more into broadcasting than I am into brewing. All right, slowing down, maybe getting a little anxious. Leave it right there. So as I was telling Steve before he left, the Kölsches were a way for, the Kölsch beer came about as a way for the German brewers, or the people living in the Weimar Empire, Habsburg Empire, whatever it was, whatever that region was at the time. Let's look it up. It was a way for them to stay competitive. They were really trying to stay competitive, and because of the purity laws, they just weren't. So that's odd. How do we do this? Talk about lag. Well, in any case, that's not what I need to do. I know what's going on here. Let's look up right here. What was Germany in 1516?
Oh, shit, okay. All right, folks. I'm back.
Oh, these are great, but you know, these are really good dark beers.
They are. They go better with stouts. Wait,
Yeah.
I have stout.
Yes! You have Guinness, which is.
I have Guinness. Well,
You do, you have Guinness. I saw it.
I meant the beer kit.
Oh, stout. We should have that next.
It's a Russian Imperial stout at that.
I don't want to know.
What are you doing?
Looking up what that land was called in
Oh,
1516.
right. Yeah, I just don't know, man.
It was not called Germany.
Was it still part of
Tell you what, you put 1516 in though, and bam, you get all sorts of Reinheitsgebot.
Was it back when when Spain was referred to as Gaul in the same period?
Was Spain referred to as Gaul?
At one time, yeah.
Oh, I did not know this.
I mean, I don't know if Gaul was exactly what Spain's borders are today, but that region, I believe, was known as Gaul. Maybe part of France was in there too, you know. They have anything to do with like Teutonic, because you know Teuton is a German thing,
Mm-hmm.
or Teutonic. You know, Teutonic Knights were like German knights. You know,
Well, it did say something about Bavaria.
Bavaria. That's right. Bavaria is still, you know, is still parts of Germany today are still referred to as Bavaria.
Here we go. Germany,
Google
country in
Docs.
Central Europe, stretches from the Alps across the North European plain to the North Sea and the Baltic Sea, second most populous country in Europe after Russia. Territory Germany covers a lot of ground, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. can we get to what it used to be called? Germany has the second most borders of any European country after Russia. Denmark, Poland, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Austria, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Also has a maritime.
man.
Oh yeah, I turned it down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But still.
Hey, to aunties.
Okay. Have fun at Auntie's Kettle. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Love you.
Love you too.
Oh,
But there, there.
Oh.
Other way, other way.
we are more than a boot there.
A boot. No offense
We
to
are.
our northern brothers up north.
That's not done.
Our northern brothers up north.
Brothers up north. Yeah, that is.
You know what I meant, folks. Beer must be kicking in already. Speaking of beer, what we're drinking today is not what we brewed. This is just some good old-fashioned Long Hammer IPA brewed by Red Hook, which are out of Seattle. I don't know if Red Hook is still independent. I think they're owned by
No,
a
they're
big
owned.
name, aren't they?
I'm almost 100% sure they're owned.
Yeah.
There's only 3 big breweries in the world.
Right.
Well, beer companies. There's lots of little breweries. They're just all owned
Right,
by these
right.
beer companies.
Right.
All right, 156, climbing quick.
Yeah.
Wrong way.
Wrong way. I wouldn't start your timer then if you haven't already.
Well, yeah, I only have so many phones.
Mm-hmm.
Hands. I only have 1 phone, 2 hands.
You better figure something out then.
Maybe I'll just grow another set of hands.
Give it
This
time.
guy.
Give it time.
I don't want to hear about your extra hands. That is.
Well, I have extra hands. I just give it time. Humans will have an extra hand eventually.
Am I gonna hang out for another 2 billion years? I'm not totally sold on it. Seems like the only creature that mutates in a way that's beneficial for itself is a virus.
I know. Right?
Seriously. Most mutations, whatever the mutant dies. If you think about it.
But viruses mutate rapidly, though.
Right. And they mutate in a way that's beneficial. Take COVID, right? Came out, killed some people. Next variant, killed fewer people. This last variant pretty much has brought us to the flu stage, where it's much less deadly than anything, right? So now it's what they call endemic, which
Right.
is what the flu is, endemic.
Endemic,
It's
yeah.
always here, there's variants. Point being, though, a virus that kills its host doesn't get to propagate because its host dies.
Right.
Whereas a
It needs a
virus,
host.
whereas a virus that keeps its host alive, albeit sick, but still keeps it alive, can spread,
Probably.
and that's good for the virus. Assuming that viruses are into conquering the world and things like that.
I don't know. I don't know if they're sentient.
Well, they say they're just RNA, so maybe we're just not smart enough to comprehend their
Right?
sentience. I doubt it. Is the flame even still on?
No.
Turn it all the way off then before we gas ourselves. I did overshoot the mark a little bit, so it can sit for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it was 156. That's good. That's right in the middle.
Yeah, it is right in the middle, so I didn't get past 160, so that's nice.
Yeah, I think you're all right, man.
I'm
And if you
just
did,
saying,
and if you did, it'll be fine.
you'll be fine. It's not like it's science or anything, even though it is.
It's like, wait a minute.
154.9, baby. Sound good.
Right in the middle.
So tell me about your amp.
But that.
You know, it's the thing that you play guitar through.
Oh, yeah.
Amp.
Now, excuse me. I recently picked up not a new to me, but a Marshall half stack. The head unit is a JCM 2000 with what's called a triple super lead, triple super lead, which I know some of you out there are Marshall people. I know it had some problems, but thankfully the previous owner took care of those problems.
What were the problems?
I don't quite know exactly what it is, but it has to do with bias and tubes. I know somehow the bias and tubes go together. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I don't quite know.
Unconscious bias. The amp didn't even know it was racist, even though it was. Is that what we're talking about?
Not this time, no. And so he's already replaced the board, so he fixed the problem, before I even bought the amp. But I found that it was funny. I wasn't even looking for this guitar amp. I was looking for an amp for a bass guitar. And I'm not a Facebook user, but I know a Facebook Marketplace. And interestingly enough, just on a whim, I thought, well, let's see if I can search it without being logged into Facebook. And I could. I was able to search the Marketplace based off my zip code. And, I set a radius of X amount of miles,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scrolling, not really scrolling. I was scrolling through it. Kind of forgot I was on my phone. Scrolling through it, looking for this bass guitar amp. And I see this Marshall half stack pop up. And I'm like, oh, wow, this thing is nice, The description seemed legit. Obviously anybody could put anything in there. I'm not that naive, but just the way this person was describing it, it sounds like they've had it for a few years. They got joy out of it. They were changing their system, changing their changes how joy. Yeah, I got some joy out of his amp. Joy.
Some metalhead this guy is.
Don't you get joy out of your equipment?
I don't use the term joy. It's like ABBA stuff, okay? You're a metalhead.
If you really want to go metalhead, we're not going to be rated PG anymore.
Don't you? I will stab you with this.
So
we are a family broadcast. We are never going to get the next generation to brew beer with us if YouTube won't let them watch the videos.
So the previous owner rocked his amp for a number of years.
See? Rocked his amp. Good term.
Was changing his setup and his rig and decided to go ahead and sell that Marshall half stack. The photos, it looked like it was well taken care of. It looked like it was damn near brand new. Like it was in his room and just didn't move. And obviously, that's just one photo. But so anyway, I had my wife contact the person because she is on Facebook. And then, we arranged a meeting. I went down and looked at it and we're sold. So I picked it up, brought it home. The whole point of the question he was asking me was, as I've been playing with this thing, I've learned that, if any guitar players out there, electric guitar players out there who know nothing about Marshalls crush, that's their job. And this amp needs to be played loud, or, it just doesn't sound as good as it should sound when playing at, bedroom levels, and within, in the city limit kind of thing. This amp needs to be taken out, put on a stage, or taken somewhere like Jamie's studio, and so we can crank the volume and really feel the amp, because there's like a threshold where it's like weak, and then boom, you hit it, on the volume control, and then of course the gain, you can adjust the gain on it, and I mean,
well, with speakers, there's physical motion. The speaker moves physically, and if it's not moving enough, you're not producing that breakup.
That amp is designed to be loud for obvious reasons. I mean, it's probably meant to be on a stage.
Bring it out.
So
We'll throw some earplugs in because we're old, and we'll crank it to 11.
Sounds good.
I will stand outside, even with
You should
earplugs.
probably stand down the street.
I still think that's a funny idea. We'll put it on the deck. Bang, and I'll drive a mile. And then
Yep, I heard it.
Well, I'll text you because you won't be able to hear it. Still hear it. Driving more. 4 miles away. Still hear
I
it.
still heard it, man. No, I think it'd be fun though.
6 miles. Oh, look, the police.
Bring
Shut it
it
down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Well, I think it'd be fun to kind of bring it over. Maybe not go ridiculously loud, but just loud like we did that one night when we jammed out. That was fun.
Oh, you can definitely.
That little PB over that just did the job.
That was a hoot though. Although I think a big part of all the feedback you're getting is because you're in that small studio.
Oh yeah, I was just too close to it.
And there's just too much. And the other thing is, standing that close to something that loud, you're not going to get the sound correct. You need space.
Oh,
You actually need physical space
Yep.
for the sound waves to develop and to turn into whatever they're going. That's a common problem with bass players, actually. They stand 3 feet from their amp. And they're like, oh, I can't hear it. And it's because
you can be a little farther away.
Yeah, you gotta back up because the sound waves haven't even developed at that point.
Right.
So they're just like, no, man.
I did
Walk
go by
to the end of your patch cable and listen out there.
I did go by the music store and I picked up another cable, an actual an actual speaker cable, not an instrument cable, because that was just an instrument cable to connect the head to the cabinet. So I actually got a speaker cable, and that was all I bought. But anyway, so now my pedal is where it should be, not 3 inches away because it's using a patch cable,
It's totally your fault that it fell off that amp. Totally your fault.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, that's the story behind this Marshall.
I knocked his pedal off the amp, and it fell on the ground. I'm not noted for being graceful.
It's fine. It still works. We need beers.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you'd like, I will go ahead and serve us up some stouts, unless you want something else.
Get the Boundary Bay Scotch Ale.
Nothing else.
Well, we can still taste things. And then we'll go to the Port Townsend Scotch Ale and see if we can taste a significant difference.
Right?
I got a bottle opener in my pocket.
Loaded for next one.
And he's gone. Okay, one's
I've already had the bottle opener in my hand when you said that. It's just like,
You're good. You're
I'll
good.
remember it for the next one then. I forgot you have your nip. All right, let me have your glass, please. Give me a second.
Do you have like an access hole to light that thing over there?
No, but I have an angle. Like how this had. I don't think anybody caught my Hanover Fist reference.
I didn't. I was too busy
No, that's fine.
trying to get it right. We dropped down to 149. So.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Chuck. All right, man. Let me pour a beer for you.
Yes. Pour the beer.
So, yeah, here we have a pint and a half, I want to say, or something like that. Where's it in here? 1 pint and 6 ounces. So, not quite a pint and a half. This is Boundary Bay Scotch Ale. This is brewed up north. Bellingham?
Yeah.
State of Washington, Bellingham. It is 6.4 ABV and 31 IBU. So it's a Scotch Ale. So it's pretty good. I've had it before.
How do we spell Scotch Ale? Delicious.
Delicious.
I'm a Scotch Ale guy.
That's why I picked it up, because I know Jenny would appreciate a good Scotch Ale.
I do. I like the Scotch ales, the porters, the stouts, the brown ales. Pretty much if it's dark, that's where I land. Not overly hoppy. Although I like hoppy beers too. They're just fine, but if you're like, you gotta choose one beer for the rest of your life, I'll be like, first of all, you have to fight me to the death to enforce that. But if you win, well, I'll be dead, so it's a moot point. So I guess it doesn't matter. Let's pretend I'm feeling amicable though, and not like fighting to the death over choosing a beer. I would definitely choose. I'd probably choose a Scotch ale. Maybe a Russian. Oh man,
That's a Russian Scotch Ale?
ooh, can you make that? I bet you can. Why couldn't you? You'd have to combine, the attributes of a Russian stout, which isn't Russian, by the way, it's British. And
Talk about that.
yeah, it's like, I always thought they were from Russia. I'm sure Russia brews stouts now. I mean,
Right.
But the original, it was Peter the Great or one of the czars went over to England, loved the beer. The brewer said, "Hey, I'll send you some." So he did, and that batch got spoiled. So he sent him more, and that batch did not get spoiled, and it was amazing. And thus we have Russian Imperial Stout.
Seems like these names of these beers are because the beer was traveling. India Pale Ale.
Right, also English.
It became named India Pale Ale because it was beer that traveled to India.
Pick another one.
Yugoslavian.
No, that's actually Yugoslavia. Besides, does Yugoslavia even exist anymore?
I don't think so.
What is it?
I don't know.
I know Czechoslovakia doesn't exist. That's been broken into the Czech Republic and, or is it just the Czech Republic? I don't know, man. It's hard to keep track. All those,
I believe it's referred to as the former Yugoslavia.
all those Soviet bloc states. I mean, the geography got crazy. It's like trying to figure out what the Middle East was before the end of World War II when they divvied it up and made those imaginary countries that are real countries now.
Imaginary country.
Well, they were, man.
This sounds funny.
I mean, if you think about it, though, there's a bunch of guys, the winners, said, this is Iran, this is Iraq, this is Israel, you know?
Right.
So.
What do you think?
It's good. It's dark. It's a little thin. Like mouthfeel type deal.
I mean, this batch was different, but I doubt it.
Well, no, it's not. No, I've noticed that. Like I've noticed some of the bigger breweries. I mean, they're not a big brewery, but still, like the guys that are actually distributing and brewing beer, you don't get a lot of really thick beers out of the bottle. You know, like some of the stuff we brew, which is like, wow, that is a thick, heavy beer. You know, loaf of bread in a glass type deal, right? You don't get those out of the distributor guys. Like even
comment.
Oh, what's that? Sister 19 LOL.09. Okay.
Is that one of those bot comments?
Yes. I don't understand what the. I don't understand how those are advantageous to anyone. I really don't. I mean, I don't know what. I'm not going to click on that. I responded to it, but I don't think the bot algorithm can pick up audio signal and turn it into something.
I don't know.
I mean, that'd be pretty.
Just kind of looked over. I was like, hey, there's a comment, but I couldn't read what it was.
At least it's one. One comment is good. Can you turn it up just a skosh? Just a skosh. Probably. No, it is. That's probably good.
Because it was just like a little blue ring in there, like barely burning. How much time do you have left on your
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I think in the future I should broadcast. You should brew.
You have a timer going.
I do. 14:29.
Oh, so we're about halfway through it. Okay.
Yeah. So what was I talking about? Imaginary lines.
No, you were talking about like.
Oh, anyhow, yeah.
Beer
So
being thicker and
it's
more
just not
mouthful.
as thick. Like, you know, people talk about bass ale and creamy and stuff, and it's like, no, that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting a thin, you know, it's.
Mm-hmm.
That Murphy stout wasn't that bad. It wasn't that great either.
I think what it is that you and I are so used to our own beers that our expectations have changed. Maybe subconsciously. It's just like, you know, because we were used to the homebrew, which homebrews tend to be thicker, man.
I guess
You
so.
know?
Yeah.
In my experience, they tend to be a little thicker, more mouthfeel than what we buy, you know.
It's heavier.
And so we buy, you know, a commercial beer, and we're just like, oh, it's very light, you know, even though it's probably not to the regular beer drinker that doesn't drink a lot of homebrew, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of those beers that we pull off the shelves down at Greg's, though, those are.
Some of those you can cut with a fork and knife, man.
Yeah, which I like those. Those are my. So anyhow, this is good. You know, it's.
I'll tell you about a weird beer experience I had with a bottle
Definitely
beer.
a Scotch ale. The peanut butter pretzel probably didn't help me really analyze that.
It's like it probably tastes a little
But
bit.
I gotta tell you, the peanut butter pretzels go great with this.
It does, man. It pairs well. So I had a weird beer experience when I was down in Lemoore, California for those few years. It was something. It was not Boundary Bay, but it was a bottle like this, like a larger size, you know, pint and a half kind of thing. And I can't remember who it was. It was supposed to be just a regular pale ale, not an IPA. Just somebody's pale ale I picked up at the store, and I poured it in a glass, and the consistency was like snot. And I was like,
you didn't drink that, did you?
well, I drank a little bit of it because I didn't realize it until after I was done. I went to drink and I'm like, whoa, what is this? Because I'm texting people I know. I was like, you ever had a homebrew or a beer, a craft beer that has like it's like gelatinous and snotty? They're like, I don't know what the hell that is, you know. Nobody knew what that was. It was some kind of something happened during the process, you know.
Yeah, think.
And I know it's saying the obvious, but it's just like yes, something happened to this beer because it should not have been gelatinous. And
Wow.
I'm not trying to be gross. It had the consistency of snot, dude.
Oh man.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not drinking this.
No, that's
I was
horrible.
at my buddy's house. He was like, dude, what the hell was that? You know, I'm like, I don't know, man. Something Tiger was the name, but some kind of pale, supposed to be some kind of pale ale. So either something went wrong during the bottling process, and maybe not necessarily the brewing process was wrong, but maybe something happened during bottling, that made it gel like that.
Who knows? That is weird.
It was weird, and I was just like, no, I can't do this. Yeah.
That's almost as bad as the time as I drank that slug.
That's
I've never seen a slug that fast.
crazy though. Yeah.
Cause you gotta think, man. I mean, I was a little bit inebriated, but still.
But at least you identified something was not right.
So we left those beers out on the grill. It was on the grill. It was 3 feet off the ground.
I know.
It was a leaping alcoholic slug.
Maybe it dropped from the overhead. Not likely, but
I don't very often see slugs on my roof.
yeah,
Ever?
But it's right under the gutter.
I know, but I don't see slugs in the gutter. I clean those gutters out all the time because I'm a stupid maple
I
tree.
need to clean my gutters.
Yeah, you do. Not saying that you do, but you need to stay on top.
It needs to
One needs to stay on top of that.
You meant you in the second person.
Yeah, because I don't, and I am constantly. It's like, oh look, water is just running everywhere I don't want it to be. It's so frustrating. That's the next big project. Either windows or gutters. Gutters will be like $1,000. Windows will be like $20,000.
$20,000.
I'm telling you, new windows in that house, which is, I would have to light one fire day instead of 7.
Yeah, we've been considering new windows for this house as well. Maybe do like the bottom floor first, and then a year or two later we'll do the upstairs.
So to finish the story about the slug real quick, me and Steve were drinking,
Oh no, not that.
and Steve went home, and my wife and I decided to watch a movie, and I had like probably half a beer that I'd left out of the barbecue grill. It's my beer that I poured for
Right.
myself. It's not like I rummaged around on the side of the road and said,
Oh,
oh,
you
here's your beer. I'm gonna
You just went and grabbed your beer.
I went outside and grabbed, I was like, oh, I left my beer outside. Went out, sat down next to my wife, took a swig. I was like, that's weird.
This is weird. Yeah.
Took another swig. I was like, whoa, what? There is something in this glass. Walked back outside. There's like a 4-inch slug in my beer. And it had only been sitting out there for, I swear, like 10 minutes.
Right.
Of course, I was, like I said, I was a little bit, maybe it had been sitting out there for 45.
Maybe
But
the
still,
slug.
that slug had to come. Well, they are attracted to it. That's actually a slug trap.
Alcohol or beer.
Yeah, they say buy cheap beer,
Yeah.
and you pour it in little tins all around your garden.
Oh, okay.
And the slugs, they'll go into it and then they drown.
Right.
So it's kind of cruel and evil. Not quite as cruel as salting them.
Maybe they used to get a buzz from the beer before they drown.
I'm sure, but they do. Slug traps, yeah. So slugs like beer. So with that in mind, maybe I shouldn't hate slugs, They like beer, I like beer.
Yeah.
Just a slug, man. Just trying to get by.
Just trying to do its slug thing,
Yeah, whatever a slug thing is.
Live.
However, when you swim in my beer, you're done.
You crossed the line, slug.
I smushed it. I was mad.
Oh yeah. It's like the fact that you drank out of that thing twice is even more amazing.
I didn't know.
Oh,
Mine,
I
by
would
the
have
way.
same thing. I'd been like, man. I mean, it's like my snot beer. I took a few sips of it, before I finally said, all right, this is not.
There was something wrong here. That was the whole thing. It was like, because it was dark, because we're watching a movie, all the lights were out, so I couldn't see. It's like,
that's weird.
there is something in this
Something's
glass.
not right. Something's not right.
Still not as disgusting as squid intestines. And I ate those on purpose.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. I never ate that when I was over there. I did eat like whole shrimp, like eyeballs and all, looking at me. They were little baby shrimp.
Alive?
I don't know if they were or not.
I wouldn't put it past the Japanese. I'll tell you what, the Southeast Asia, that whole area, they are the kings of weird.
Yeah.
So if you've ever watched those game shows, it's like,
Oh yeah. I lived in Japan for 4 years, and sometimes I would just flip to the little local stations, find some weird Japanese game show, and watch it. I had no idea what they were saying, but it was just, I was smart enough to kind of put two and two together, it's like, oh, okay. Whoa, what are they doing? You know, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Why do you take entertainment from this? I used to love watch, no kidding, legit sumo wrestling. I used to love watching that, man. It was crazy. These guys are huge.
Well, yeah, but sumo wrestling has like legitimate rules.
No, I know. I'm just saying we were talking about watching Japanese television. I used to watch the actual no kidding sumo wrestling, the official circuits, you know, and I watch it for like a couple hours at a time, just kick back, you know. But just kind of thinking back on it, man, some of those guys are just huge.
Oh, yeah.
500 pounds, you know, just freaking. Imagine one of those dudes just like whack. It's like get hit with a truck. You know what I mean? One of the guys, he wasn't even Japanese, man. He was, I think he was Hawaiian or something like that. He was the Yokozuna for all, which is like the top ranking wrestler, you know.
There's a big deal because Japan wouldn't let a Hawaiian have the title.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. This was
sorry, you're not Japanese. You can't have the title.
Didn't they change that eventually?
You know, I
thought they did because I remember seeing that guy, watching that Hawaiian guy wrestle when I was there. I was there, you know, from 2003 to the end. I think I left in January of 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 4 years there, and so during that kind of mid to late 2000s is when I was watching the wrestling, and that Hawaiian wrestler was there working his way to the top. I don't know when he actually beat the champion, but you know.
Yeah, but he legitimately won. I remember it was a big deal because he legitimately won, but then Japan wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
You know,
but you know what? It's their culture, man.
It is. It's their country. They pull things by their rules and stuff. And
it's no different than when I would walk into a restaurant and somebody would do this and say no gaijin. That meant no foreigners. All right, I get it. I wasn't butthurt about it, you know. It's just like, all right, we'll go somewhere else then, you know.
Not like America.
Oh gosh, that happened. If that would happen in this country,
the land of
people would
offending
lose their
babies.
freaking mind, dude. You know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times when I would get the no foreigners, it wasn't because of the color of my skin. It was because of the language barrier, and they were just like, you know, it could have been anybody that wasn't Japanese, not just an American, you know.
Sure, an African or
it could have been anybody, yeah.
You know.
So I didn't take it personally, like, oh, they don't like Americans. No gaijin means no foreigners. Doesn't mean no Americans. You know what I mean? And so whatever, you know. But usually it's probably because, you know, the menus and it's more traditional style, language barriers. It's just easier not to deal with all that, you know.
Well, yeah, and of course in Japan, because it's kind of a homogeneous country originally.
Right.
It's like pretty easy to tell if you're not Japanese.
Yeah.
It's like, you got round eyes and a pale skin or a black skin, you know.
Right.
And it's like, you're not Japanese.
You are not Japanese.
Not like American. What's an American? I don't know.
I know, right? Pick a color. Roll some dice, man.
Yeah. Pick a nose shape.
Americans, this tone of our skin is the whole spectrum of skin.
Yeah, it's like you can't define
you
what
can be
American
the
looks like.
darkest black dude or woman to the most palest milky dude and be an American. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, how do you define an American? You know, I mean, the only way to say it, from America.
From
You know?
America. Yeah.
You can't even say born in America. I'm a big guy on that when it comes to immigration. If you've jumped through the hoops, it's like you're American. I used to give my friend.
Oh, excuse me.
I used to give my friend Orlando such a hard time, man, because he was actually born in El Paso, but like
So was I.
like his grandparents were Mexican or something, right?
Okay.
So he had Mexican heritage. It's like, I'm Mexican American. I'm like, no, man, you're American and Mexican.
Dude, you're 5th generation American.
It's like you're American, dude. You can't even. I speak more Spanish than you.
I get it. Your great grandmother crossed the border, you know, but dude.
And yeah, you got the nice tan and the Oscar De La Hoya smile. That's great, but still.
Run into Walmart. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
You know, why doesn't she drive to Walmart?
Good question.
Thank you, folks. I'll be here all week. In any case, I used to give him a hard time about that. But I really am serious about that. You know, illegal immigration, you know, that's.
You going, Mom? Okay. See you later, kid.
Later.
That's a little bit different. I don't hate illegals. I mean, we've talked about that.
Right.
You know, it's like, if you do what you have to do to take care of your family, there is some honor in that.
You're right.
But
You're right.
at the
There is
same
honor.
time, it's like you broke the law. You know, you gotta do it the legal way.
You can make it in and work.
Yep.
More power to you. But you know what? If you get caught, I'm not going to sympathize, man.
But at the same time, it's not my job. It's not my job to catch you either.
Yeah, my job isn't to catch you or rat you out. My job is to fix airplanes, actually.
Right. There you go.
But yeah, I know you're not talking about it before, but for the sake of our potential audience, I was
replay viewers.
I used to be kind of anti-immigration, and not because of race thing, because it was the law. You know, it's just like, oh, I didn't care if you were Canadian, Slovenian, Russian, whatever. You know, didn't matter what other country you're coming in from. If you weren't entering the U.S. illegally, then I was like, nope, you got to go. You know, but my stance has changed over time. Especially, you know, people coming from south of the border, man. Those folks are just trying to survive, and, you know, make money to live, you know, maybe some home to their families or escape some kind of bad situation. You know, it's not even their fault. Not even their fault. You know, it's a country where, you know, the gangs rule, and it's just like they're just trying to find a better life, and I get that. And what's even more interesting is these folks are willing to come and work. You know, whereas a lot of these Americans won't travel 30 miles to look for a job, but these people travel maybe 1,000, a few hundred, who knows, you know.
Well, how far is Guatemala?
Right. So that's why my thing is, you know, I still don't think you should enter the country illegally, but if you make it in, hey, rock on, you know. No.
Nice job, man.
I will not rat you out, and I will not treat you any differently just because, you know, you might be illegal.
Yeah. But I mean, there still is something to be said for coming in.
But you need to follow the law, though.
Through the right channels, you know. I mean, there's something to be said for that. And I mean, my solution is easy. Let's change the law. That's all you gotta do. And really, it's not so much. Oh, it's time! It's time!
It's time!
It's time! It's time! What's it time for?
It's time to take your fire off, put your mulch in.
Right.
Which are inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back with your mulch
and
a ladle.
A ladle. Good idea.
Ladle.
And I'm going to use this bucket over here for the grain.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's off the camera.
Well, the Coke was on top. Nico.
Such a light beer. We never make light beers. We always make really dark beers. Waiting on the mulch. Gonna sit here and drink my beer and eat pretzels. Maybe I should send him a text message. Ladle.
All right.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah. Here you go. Oh, here else. Need that? I'll get this ready for you. All right. So yeah, that's my the evolution of my stance on immigration. It's like whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I do know, because
Don't come over here and commit crime though. Then I'm gonna watch you out.
yeah, but that's my thing. It'd be nice to get rid of all the Americans that commit crimes.
Exactly.
That's
That
hardly
too.
that's hardly an immigration thing.
No.
That's just
I'm saying just generally. A lot of people try to use that as the these illegal immigrants come in and they commit crimes, Yeah. Maybe some did, But there's plenty of our own that commit just as much crime,
That one I never really bought into, There's plenty of native-born Americans who are committing crimes.
Right. Way more heinous than what somebody else who went in the country did.
I was gonna say that as I still have family in Honduras,
All right.
I do know that while a lot of them come up and they're going for the better job or whatever. That is a real thing. There's also come to America and get on the benefits wagon.
Oh, I get it.
That is a real thing.
Just for the purpose of the benefits.
Yep.
Like mail order brides. That is the most BS freaking thing I've ever seen,
I know 3 mail order brides.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know them very well. I've talked with them, but it's not like I know them. They're not like my buddies or anything.
And what brought that up was I was doing something on YouTube.
$5,000 marriage.
Yeah, I was doing something and a YouTube commercial for like these, I don't know, Eastern Bloc kind of mail order bride things.
Why are Slavic women so amazing?
And I was just
why do they love Western men? It's like
because their money.
citizenship.
Citizenship.
It's not money, it's citizenship.
Trust me, the moment they get their citizenship, they're gonna be like, I want a divorce.
Yep. You stay married as long as it takes that nobody asks questions anymore.
Right.
And then you get divorced.
I'm just like, really? Which sucks, man, is there's some freaking, sap out there that falls for that crap too.
Yeah, I know those guys too.
Man, some lonely-hearted sap.
There was a dude worked for me, like in 1998.
Yeah.
So she loves me.
No,
So
she
she's
doesn't.
an exotic dancer from Mexico, and not from deep Mexico, border country Mexico.
No.
She doesn't seek.
She
loves
loves anything about
your
you.
citizenship, Hoffman.
Yeah.
Your citizenship. That's what she loves. You met her Friday. You want to marry her now?
One of
Oh
those
yeah.
things,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been 75 hours. You're right. You are.
She loves you.
Mhm. So that stuff happens too. It's just a harsh reality.
Right.
I guess my point is that when you get in discussions like these, people tend to take extreme views. You have a certain group of people that seems to classify every immigrant as this poor, suffering, oppressed person fleeing horrors beyond all belief.
Now that sounds like affluent white people that want to be saviors.
Yes, white saviors. But then, on the flip side, and these people really are no better if you think about it. Won't lie, I tend to agree with them politically more often, but still, you got the people that are like, every immigrant is a law-breaking rapist,
Right.
murderer, drug
Which is not the
dealer.
case,
etc. It's like, no, man, they're not. But it's hard to. It's hard to. You can't do it case by case. You got to make policy eventually, right?
Right.
And you cannot do policy one at a time. It's like, oh, Juanita, her children were starving. Her husband beat her. It's like that's great. That's one story. Come back to me with 3 million stories, and then we can talk. Because now we have statistics. Seriously, you cannot make policy off of stories.
One thing, yeah. I get it. That's why it just irritates me, like when one person calls and complains about something, now they gotta change it for everybody. It's like, one person complained. Now we're gonna change this, you know?
Right. It is. It's frustrating, and it's just. I mean, me personally, I think they should loosen it up. I mean,
I think people should learn how to suck it up a little bit too.
well, there's a couple things that need to change in America.
Thicken your skin a little bit.
Well, I agree with that. We got to thicken up our skins, but also what we need to do is we need to make America into a country of workers again, instead of a country of benefit takers.
Right. That's gonna be. I don't know, man. That seems like such a daunting task. How do we even do that?
What?
How do you create incentive for people to work again? Though? I don't
well,
know.
You can't, because the truth is that most people. So you and I can sit here, but we've had this discussion before as well. We sit here and we have our political discussion, which, by the way, at the very beginning of our broadcast sessions, we said we were not going to do this, but you know,
Is this really political, or is this just?
I don't know. It's
I think it's more opinionated.
It is opinionated, and I'm dancing the line here without going left or right. In fact, I'm trying to avoid those terms. So,
Yeah, let's not do that.
But seriously, it's I think we need to. I think you can turn the heat on, and let's get moving towards oil. I mean, but I do think we need to work hard, because I think if we're a country of workers, right, and we don't want benefits, what we want to do is work. It's like, shoot, man, you could drop the borders. I mean, like, wide open, just drop them, because every person that comes in is not a drain. That is an additional resource.
It's contributing, yeah.
And now America is getting stronger and stronger, because more and more people are coming here and they want to work and they want to do good things. And suddenly it's like, yo, America's the place to be. And if that is their goal, then America can take all sorts of people. We build up instead of out, right? I'm not an eco-terrorist, but it's like, maybe we need to stop knocking down the forests.
Agreed. Let's build up.
Yeah, we can go up or down.
Yeah.
Let's go down. The worms don't care. There's lots of dirt for the worms. But seriously, we can go up or down or whatever. I saw this. I heard this really interesting thing about a city, and it was a pyramid.
Huh.
Basically, the whole city was a pyramid. It was really interesting. Sounds a lot like what was that old movie? Not Blade Runner.
I was like, old movie?
It's a runner. It was a series. Runner was part of it.
Oh, old movie?
Old series, TV series.
Logan's Run.
Logan's Run. Yes,
Logan's Run.
yes, Logan's Run. Exactly. So that was something where everyone was trapped in the cities and they were trying to escape the cities type deal. In any case, look at that hot break. One day we need to get a camera that we can put over the top so people can see that totally awesome hot break. But today is not that day. You know what I discovered on Saturday? If you're cooking hot, boiling, steamy foods, don't wear your glasses when you stare into the pot.
Yeah. I've fogged my glasses probably 150 times, there it is.
So
I thought you already dumped the first one.
nope, not yet. So anyhow, it's just really cool because if we changed America to a working mentality, then we could support a lot of people. I mean, we let farm fields go fallow.
Right.
Where I grew up, there were farmers who received subsidies from the government. The government paid them to not plant.
Not plant. Yeah, no, I
Right?
know that. I
So
know
the
that.
concept of feeding people is there. But we cannot just give people stuff. That
Right.
can't happen.
I need to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, you've got to work, you've got to produce, you've got to make something.
There's
Whether
something that contributes.
to be stereotypical, whether you pick beets or pick lettuce or weed fields or mow lawns or whatever you do, you need to do it.
Right.
Right? Don't come here to get welfare. Come here to work and get off welfare, or never get on welfare in the first place.
To begin with, yeah.
And there's a whole, and the other side, they tend to, the more bleeding heart side, they'll throw the lines at you that illegal aliens can't get welfare and they can't get benefits. And the truth is, that's not true. I mean, maybe legally they can't, but there are ways around it. Our government. I mean, you and I worked for it for years.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's ways to trick the system. And they do. And that's where the whole anchor babies thing comes in. But I think it would be really cool. And of course, you know, I'm married to a Hispanic person, so I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Hispanics. Those Scandinavians, though, they can get the hell out.
So I do.
No more Scandinavians. I'm tired of those people. What do they produce? Lutefisk. Who wants that? No one. Who wants rotted jellyfish? Nobody. I hope I'm not offending any Scandinavians. Do we know any Scandinavians?
I don't know anything personally.
Me neither. I'm not worried about it.
But I like Sweden, no.
Been there?
Nope.
I know a Latvian.
Yeah.
She's nice. In fact, we're trying. Hopefully they have the big Latvian choir festival.
Yeah.
That's like that. Remember I showed you the video? 10,000
Oh,
people in the
yeah.
choir,
Giant
and the
choir.
director stands on this big platform with jumbotrons and stuff like that.
That's right.
I'm gonna go see that. 23. It's supposed to be happening in 2023.
1923, huh?
We're moving back in time, man. It's Terminator stuff. We're stopping the end game.
Man.
Which you didn't realize was happening in 2024, right after the festival, the next day, like January 1st. But don't worry, I'm going back 1920, 23. I can't spin this any harder than I'm done. I meant to say 2023 in the spring. I'm gonna go. I think it'd be fun. It'd be a hoop. Hang out in Latvia or Estonia, or wherever it is. It's in those three little states that are kind of the bridge between Germany and Russia. They've been decimated time and again because the Russians come in and take them over, and
Right.
they're all traitors, and so they get killed. And then the Germans came back and took them over. They were all traitors, so they got killed. It's some really dark history, man.
Unfortunately, this country's just like, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah, and none of them like Germany or Russia.
Or Russia, yeah. Well, if they keep getting stepped on by those countries, then yeah,
Yeah,
I can understand that, you know.
when you can't win, it's like, I love Russia. That's what you said last time. Yeah, and you killed half my family, so I love Germany, or I don't know. Go ahead, kill me. I'm done. Here come the bullets. But yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And hopefully by that time, the United States will pull its head out of its butt on this whole COVID thing, and we can finally start moving about. There's the Europeans, particularly England, has started to calm down. They're
Yeah.
like, look,
Well, I know
this is unsustainable.
last week I think I read that Denmark has completely lifted all restrictions.
And Sweden never did.
Never
Yeah.
had any restrictions to begin with, or?
Not to my knowledge.
Or maybe
Sweden,
not strict like we
Sweden
did.
stayed the course.
Okay.
They depended on their populace to do the right thing and stuff.
Makes sense.
So- And you know what? If COVID had not become so politicized, I think Americans, all of this would be much different.
Oh,
I
that's the
think,
American way to politicize something, though.
well, it's not. It's the Western way.
You know.
So don't forget. I mean, Canada right now. In Canada,
Oh, yeah,
Ottawa. Good luck driving in Ottawa right now
Yeah.
because it's clogged with 18-wheelers. Have you heard about that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big strike and stuff going on, and
Yeah. Well, it's a big protest.
blockade, kind of, yeah.
And this really. Did you ever see the latest Mad Max, The Fury Road?
Mhm.
Did you see it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you know the big scene where all the
Trying
cars
to use their own version.
Right. It should not have been called Mad Max. What was her name?
I don't remember. Well, the character Mad Max was in there.
Yeah, but that like as like a side thought.
He was played.
I don't know. I didn't.
I know the guy. He played
The Venom guy.
Yeah. He was in Venom. He was in Batman. He played. Like,
Bronson is his name Bronson?
No.
not Bronson.
it is a guy. He's a British guy. British actor, I think. I think he's British.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I know who he is. I like him too as an actor.
Yeah, no,
He's cool.
he was in Inception also.
Was he?
Yeah.
Who was he in Inception?
I don't remember his character's name, but he was in Inception. He was like one of the first. What I want to say it was like the second or third guy they recruited when they were kind of building the team.
Right. Okay.
I can't remember the name, his character's name.
So let's shift gears really quick. So describe this beer.
It's like Scotch ale, but light. I don't know how to describe beer, honestly. Man. I'm not a beer taster. You know.
Oaky, nutty,
Yeah, see, I didn't. I think my palate is.
floral smut.
I think my palate is not pure in the sense because of all the peanut butter and pretzels.
True. The scent
So,
of wisdom.
I mean, it just
and a
tastes kinda
mother's
like
love
Scotch
in a
ale.
glass.
Yeah, see, that's not me.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give this a shot. Kind of roasty. Roasty, yeah. Kind of like a little burnt flavor.
No barnyard or anything like that?
No, not barnyard. I have no idea what barnyard is. Who was the knucklehead who put that as a descriptor? It's like
Barnyard.
tastes like barnyard. We have asked this question many times, and we are depending on you, someone out there. What does barnyard taste like? Someone's got to know. Some poor soul came off a horse in a barnyard and their mouth was open. It was not me.
I know what that tastes like.
It's bad. I'm sure it is
You don't want to
bad.
experience that.
No, I don't. In any case, so kind of roasty, like roasty, kind of burnty, toasty, roasty, burnty.
You're not doing very good.
Just wait. Try again. Running out of beer.
I think to me that Scotch ale it had a lighter mouthfeel. It wasn't bad. It was just a lighter mouthfeel. It was kind of malty,
Yeah, it's kind of malty.
Definitely not hop. I didn't really detect any hop character in it.
No, there's no hops in this at all. I mean, just enough to bitter it, make not
Right.
It's
There's no
like sugar.
no hoppy flavor. Yeah, just enough to balance it. So
A little bit thicker, kind of like a yoo-hoo. You ever had a yoo-hoo?
yeah, it's like chocolate
Water. Yeah. So this is not a lager at all. It's not crisp and clean. It's got some aftertaste to it. A little bit of not really a bite, not a hoppy bite, but it's kind of burnt, like roasty. Roasty is a good term. Not,
Maybe it has roasted barley in it.
it probably does. Not a real strong after finish. It's not like there's a real strong aftertaste
I
there.
haven't really noticed anything out of that swallow. It's just like
Not nearly as thick as our beers.
It's not bad.
I mean, our beers are like, fork and knife type stuff, which I love, by the way. Alright, that's roasty. That's the best you're getting from me. Roasty, a little bit thicker mouthfeel.
Come on, man. Even our bot would have done better. No, I'm kidding.
Well, maybe the bot wants to try.
I know, right?
Go ahead, give it a shot, bot. Come on, describe a beer. Obviously, I suck at it. Get the next one.
It'd be funny if it described the beer perfectly. How did it do that?
There's no chocolate in here. No notes of chocolate. It's just roasted. Just kind of a. Maybe that's peat moss.
It's funny. Here's the grain bill. It actually has chocolate malts in it.
Well, I don't taste them. Like,
But
no.
it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be chocolate flavored. It's
Yeah.
darkening. It adds the darkness to it.
Right. Get the next one.
All right, what do we have? Oh, the other one.
The other one. Yeah.
All right, and I recall that you said you had a bottle opener, so I'll use your bottle opener.
Oh, yeah, I got one in my pocket.
I got
Signature
one.
malty sweetness. I wouldn't say it's super sweet.
To me, that kind of semi-sweetness to it.
I mean, some of our beers
Exactly.
are a lot sweeter than what that is. I think part of that is, again, because of the wildly inconsistent temperature ranges within our houses.
Right.
The yeast just has a hard time doing its job. It's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to eat all these starches, or do you want me to take a nap? It's like,
Right.
in the morning, it's like 40 degrees in this bottle. I'm just like sleepy. Then it warms up and I feel hungry, so I eat a little, but then I go back to bed because it gets cold again. Maybe if we had some consistency in this house. Shut up, stupid yeast. Do your job. Okay, so this is Port Townsend.
Port Townsend.
Port Townsend Scotch Ale.
Scotch ale, same amount.
Similar bottle, probably bought from the same
I'm
manufacturer.
trying to think. You know what? There's no other information. I don't even know what the ABV is. This is brewed and bottled by Port Townsend Brewing Company. Blah blah blah. Visit our website. Blah blah blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
No information, so I have no idea what the ABV or the IBUs are, or anything like that, so. Blah, blah, blah. To me, it already looks lighter in color.
Oh yeah, totally lighter in color.
Oh, sure. Man, how did I get so good at pouring? Doot, 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 doot.
I don't know you, but
I'm tooting my horn now.
what time do you think we'll be done tonight? Think I could be back to my house by 2000?
Probably.
Nah, my friend John, I called him earlier and just left a message, and then he's like, "You still have time to visit." But that's not. I didn't get on here to answer text messages while on camera. Got on here. What was the question? Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, are you ready? Okay, that's part pointless for me. I have no nose, man. I can't smell anything.
I don't really smell anything. Nothing's like standing out to me. It just smells like a beer, you know, like a Scotch ale. Which I don't know. Nothing's really standing out. A little thicker,
Sweeter.
sweeter.
Definitely sweeter. Much sweeter.
Not as
roasty.
roasty though. More malty to me. Kind of like quite malty,
Yeah, as like
and it's definitely thicker.
they could probably put more hops in this. Like seriously.
Yeah, it's definitely
Like bittering hops. Bittering hops. I don't know if it's not really unpleasant. I think
I think I prefer the Boundary Bay.
yeah, I agree with you. I mean it's personal preference obviously, but it is I think the sweetness level.
Where's your hops?
They're in the fridge. The sweet, you need number 1. They're labeled number 1, number 2. They're not labeled holler, toss, or sauce. They're literally labeled Temptation 1, Temptation 2.
I saw hops in there from that one time that I forgot to put my finishing out in, which was the double.
Whoa! We're boiling. We're boiling. Wrong way. And I turned it off. Well, we won't boil over now. Although it's still boiling. Is it still on?
You want me to do that?
Yes, I do.
You do. Just get the flame going.
That's a really good boil, though.
Yeah. See how that goes.
That should work. So this is interesting. I've never seen that before in any of our beers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
It's brown. What was I talking about? I was gonna look something
Extracting.
up. Oh, the ABV of Port
Oh yeah,
Townsend.
ABV, yeah,
Scotch
that's
ale.
right. Because we're less impressed with this one.
Yeah, I actually really, I absolutely do think that the Boundary Bay was better.
That's got a weird. This one has an after.
Oh, hey, Gazier Tavisk says, Vort de Red.
What are these aliens communicating with us or something?
That would be cool. Probably not true.
You already got your timers ready.
Well, I'll start with timer after I get the hops in there. I kind of want to get the boil under control before I throw them in there. We're not boiling at all now.
No. Tend to heat a little bit. This so it can roll. And then when you stir it, it kind of distributed the heat. I just fine. You just stir it. There it goes. There she goes. I think those are like, bug people that are trying to communicate with us.
Bug people?
Yeah.
I am down with communicating with alien species. I have no problem doing this.
Totally. I'm all for it too, eh?
But they need to try harder than one bot comment per 25 minutes. Almost an hour and a half into the show. Oh, by the way, I totally want to strain this when we go into the. I think we need to, even though it slows us down, and maybe we need to develop a different system, we need to strain these things when we go into the carboys.
Trying to reduce the sludge factor a little.
Mm-hmm. Well, with that stupid space dust clone I made, I lost a gallon.
Oh, jeez.
Straight up lost a gallon of beer just through the amount of crap that was in the bottom of that carboy. And we should have strained it, thrown that stuff away, and then topped off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I probably won't make that again anyways, though. I mean, it was just, I don't like dry hopping. It's not worth it to me. It's like, I didn't find that beer to be particularly amazing. Like, I tested it. It's carbonating right now.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
be able to have some soon.
Right.
It was a little bit complex, right? So it had like an interesting character, strong hop finish, like hops.
Like, you are gonna like
Whoa! I'm going to hit by a hop. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. But
Okay, are you gonna go back to boiling now?
it will. I'm not going to start the timer until it does.
Oh, damn it.
I put you in charge of that. Okay, that's one way to do it. Port.
Alright, there we go.
Townsend.
Come on, Cletus!
Scotch. Ale. ABV. Go. Is this Peeping Peter?
No, it just says Port Townsend Brewing Company Scotch Ale. Scotch style ale.
Well, let's just go there.
And then there's a guy up in a crow's nest that says, "The Hershey Brews."
Seriously.
Totally. The Hershey Brews.
Oh, that's bad.
Alright, I need to make a bio call. I'll be right back.
Bio call. That's funny.
Bio call.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Bio.
Yeah, I get it.
Bio!
Get out, do your thing, get back. Still not boiling. I still don't know the ABV of Port Townsend's beer. Well, these are ales on tap. Dog of the month history. Alright, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's not it. Ten of the smelliest cheeses in the world. Why does that come up when I'm looking for the ABV for a beer? Who knows? Ooh, Daily Truth Report. Buy moonshine online. Proof by Southern Glazers. Something about Portugal. Books. Unripe cocktail machine. I got nothing. I got nothing. So we're going to say it's 4%. 5 to 4%. not a super high ABV beer, not that we expected it to be. But, oh, good Lord, what time is it? 17:40. It's so late. I gotta work tomorrow. I don't want to work tomorrow. More malty, less roasted. So, like less roasted barley, less any of the things that give like a burnt flavor to it. They use less of that in here. It is much sweeter, and it doesn't have. Sweeter beers are all right if they're super thick and if they got a high ABV.
Bio!
I don't know, why do I do this with him? But every other week I sit down and I try and make a quality show, and it's just a train wreck. A glorious train wreck, I gotta admit, but it's a train wreck nonetheless. It's because I love you. You're a good man.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Love you too, buddy. We do this because we do this.
Yeah, man. It would be nice to have like good audio and all that fun stuff. Maybe someday we will, but not tonight. So, anyways, hey, tell me this. Tell me if you agree with me. So, with our beers that have been sweeter, I don't know, man. You're in charge of the flame. It's really close though. I can see it moving under the surface, kind of like an evil spiritual presence inside the Democratic Party.
You went political.
I did. We can back up though. Ain't nobody watching, man. Nobody's gonna watch the replay to this point.
Only our bug aliens are watching.
Watch. That's the only thing that people see. They hate Democrats.
I know, right? It's just our luck, man. That would be it too.
However, if it gets us 7 million views, who the fuck cares?
And for PG-13.
Okay.
For once, it wasn't me.
I did not. Okay. Yeah.
That was beautiful, dude.
I'm glad you're happy. I did not mean.
This is what happens to a broadcast for a month, apparently.
Yeah. I set out new rules. Rule 1 was no swearing. I made up that long list of rules. She was very short. It was rule 1, no swearing. That was like it. That was the only rule.
We're not rated R yet. We're so safe-ish.
Yes. It was not in reference to the actual act.
Yeah. And that's why we get to remain PG-13.
Okay, that's good. But it's definitely not for kids. And so now we are not helping to raise the next generation of beer brewers.
I don't think little kids. If that little girl is any reference to the mindset of children, when her dad was brewing, she was just like, "Oh my God, I don't care, Dad."
Oh man, so it's since we don't have a steady audience, you can tell that story again. I mean, seriously, we don't have a steady audience, so whoever watches this might. That is like textbook.
So
let's just let that roll.
When I first left the military and came back to where we are now, Jamie and I were like, "Yeah, let's try this, do some homebrewing. Let's get into it." You know, we actually already been doing it before, but we were trying to get ourselves back into it.
It's hard to brew together when you're 700 miles apart, right?
And so the original local brew supply store that we used to frequent used to have these brew days where
It was great.
It was great, man. They like open up to the public and it'd be like, "Hey, come on in, bring your equipment, brew on site at the store." Because what was interesting about this place was before it was a brew supply store, it was a hibachi grill kind of restaurant where they cook on the table.
So it was easy to transform it.
So there were still some of these tables were still in existence, and so they would produce heat.
Yeah,
And that's where heat. We literally had our boiling kettle on a hibachi grill, man.
Yeah, just bam. It didn't matter. You could produce heat. That's a little violent, don't you think?
Yeah.
Wrong way.
Wrong way. And so we were there. You know, we're noobs. You know, we're still kind of noobish, but we're more like advanced noobs now. Actually, I think we're pretty good though. But anyway, we were total noobs. We're just go with the flow and learn what we can learn. Well, there's this one guy came in, who I guess this guy's been brewing since like the dawn of brewing. You know, was really good at it, knew the chemistry, won awards, kind of things. You know, for local brewing competitions, maybe even state level stuff. I'm not sure, man. Anyway, this guy was good. He was very passionate.
It was good.
He was good at what he did. He was very passionate about it. Total mansplainer, though. Total mansplainer, man.
What is a mansplainer? Okay. Pause.
Almost condescending.
Pause. Okay.
I'm explaining something almost at a condescending level.
Okay, let's be totally stereotypical. If a woman explains to me how to cook something and she's condescending, does that make her a mansplainer just because it's condescending?
No, I'd say it's condescending.
Yeah, it's condescending. There ain't no such thing as mansplaining. You know?
There is. There is because
no, there is not.
men tend to like go ridiculously overboard in the details and then get a little condescending about it. It's just like it's the wrong way.
There's rolling and roiling. It's very close with the spelling, but we're still at roiling there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
The sweet spot.
the sweet spot.
Anyways, okay, fine. Go with the mansplaining.
So anyway, you would just.
No
Okay,
such
I'm not gonna say
thing as mansplaining.
mansplaining. I'll just say you over-explain stuff, like overdid it. So like, okay, I get it, you know. And women can do the same thing, but my point is that the guy knew what he was talking about, but he just
I mean, if we're gonna be sexist, let's be sexist towards men.
you over-explained it, which is fine, whatever. But his kids were with him. His kids were with him.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to explain to his children what he's doing, and his daughter at the time she was maybe 10 or 11, I don't know, clearly disinterested. She did not care.
The boy was not much more.
The boy, he was probably like 7 or 8. He was a little bit smaller. They did not care.
Glazed eyes.
They're just like, and he's explaining to them like, oh, what we do here, about, you know, they're just like, whatever, Dad. Like, I don't want to be here, you know.
You know, what's funny is you and I were sitting across the table listening.
Yeah, I know, because we were like, ooh, what's he talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn something because he was smart.
Take a note.
He was knowledgeable, but it was just the joke though, and the funny part is just, it's like he was trying. It seemed like he was trying to get his children interested in it, and they were just like not having it, you know.
That was fun. Yeah, I remember that poor little girl. Yeah, that was. Yeah, Dad was just like, dude, watch a Disney movie. She's 10.
She doesn't care about whatever levels you were talking about, you know, they're going into that thing.
Well, he was crazy because he was like, you bring it up here, you hold it at this temperature for this many minutes, you bring it up further, and that does this, and this is the isomer amylase.
And that's why we were listening. We were like, ooh, this guy's smart.
Wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. And now we
10, 11-year-old girls just like,
it's a little overboard.
Yeah.
Throw it in a pot, get it to a boil, throw some yeast in, you're good. I mean, it's a little more complex than that, but not much, man.
We didn't have to really make it, you know, it is not as complex as it can sound sometimes, I guess, is the way to put that.
There is a place for that level of complexity, or at least control. And that is where you're trying.
Another definition of mansplain is providing more information than is necessary.
I think someone's mansplaining to me right now.
I am totally mansplaining. And mansplaining goes like this.
There ain't no such thing, man. There's just providing more information that's necessary.
Okay. You can think about that. Think about that way if you want.
He did not do that.
Totally did that.
This video is about to get violent, folks.
I'm just saying, you can think about how you want to think about it. I'll think about how I want to think about it. How's that?
That's fine. I mean, just because I'm right and you're wrong doesn't mean anything, I guess.
Typical. Oh, it's because it's different than I'm thinking. You're wrong automatically. Okay.
You got it. I am the brains of this outfit.
Wishes.
I are smart, and you know it.
I'm not saying you're not smart.
Unfortunately, you are smart too, so that kind of puts me at a disadvantage when it comes to the whole arrogance on being smart thing. I will figure out a way to beat you on this. You watch this.
All right. Anyway.
You're eating the last pretzel. Yes, you left it.
You got the last pretzel.
You're a good man.
All right.
Anyway, I'm looking good.
Enough about the dumb definition of mansplaining. It doesn't really matter. I'm just having fun with you. Okay.
All right. I totally get it. Okay, man. I get tired of it, not so much from you. And I understand that there are men who explain things differently to women than they explain things to other men. And that is mansplaining. Absolutely.
And that's what I was referring to. It was just like excessive, you know.
You also know that I have political opponents on Facebook who are your classic everything is this. Everything is sexism. Everything is racism. Everything is
everything.
ageism.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like, that's racism. No, that's just the color that a swan is. I mean, it just is.
Well,
Swans can't be racist.
I can't remember where I saw this, man. There was some woman, obese, overweight woman that said being skinny is racist. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I don't understand how that can be.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I can't even make the connection.
Dress up.
Yeah, it's a little
Try to
aggressive.
find it.
Yeah, it's kind of fighting it tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
That looks good. If we could stay there.
It seems like we adjust, it stabilizes, and then it gets hot again.
Yeah, and then
You did start your timer, right?
I did,
Okay,
but the timer is running. I mean,
Okay.
we're boiling. The
wasn't
timer
sure.
is running.
So I'm asking because I've done that before. I forgot to hit my go button. So.
Yep. There are times when I'm going to step off camera. Did I just hit again?
So again,
Gotcha. As long as it's like,
I'm gonna move those because what's funny is those are just low enough. They're not being caught by the sensor.
right? We're still here, folks. We're just like off to the.
There's no folks, man. It's okay.
You're right.
If anybody's gonna watch anything, it's gonna be on a replay, So.
That's true. That's true. Someday, Steve, we gotta hang in there, man. We can do it.
So, all right, folks. Well, while he's off camera, I'm gonna sit here and drink beer and try to figure out what to talk to you about. So, previous to our current broadcasting platform, we had interaction because people would talk to us, but I think we're limited based off our current broadcasting platform, honestly.
Well, yeah. Maybe we chose the wrong one.
Maybe. I wish we could do what Haps did, or find another one like Haps that would let you simultaneously broadcast. Because, remember,
there are paid services,
yeah,
but you kind of got to be making money
Exactly.
or like have a stronger goal than what we have.
and I know there's paid services. I mean, and I understand that, but yeah, it's not like what we're doing is making any money,
Right.
This is all meant to be just for fun. So I don't want to have to pay for a service,
No. It's just, if the unfortunate thing is that Northwest Brewmeisters, that channel, the Twitter channel, doesn't have, because it's younger and because we haven't done a whole lot of broadcasting, it didn't get invited to Twitter media. If we were doing this on my musician site, we could actually live broadcast straight to Twitter. And I think that would be a better
It might reach more people, So
Well, I was reading that. Actually, I was watching a video, and it was from a Twitch guy
right.
who was making the move to YouTube,
Okay.
and he said YouTube seems pretty promising, but then he followed it. He's like, "There's some caveats and warnings here." He's like, "YouTube audience, they're not a live stream audience; they're a video audience."
Right.
Right. And so he said, "You'll catch them, right? If they're already interested in your channel, they'll watch.
They'll watch, yeah.
But they don't go to YouTube for live. Do you go to YouTube for live streams?"
No, not at all.
Yeah, neither
So
do
no,
I.
I mean it makes sense. Yeah, YouTube is not meant for live. At least most consumers don't care about live streaming. I follow you 100% and agree.
Well, for the YouTube audience, it depends on where you go.
Right.
The Twitch folks, they don't care about replays. They're all about the live stream.
Yeah.
They might watch a replay once in a while.
The one time this is me personally, obviously. The only time I've ever waited for a live stream to start on YouTube is because I knew it was coming.
Right.
I
And
was
it
like,
was someone you were already
yeah,
interested in.
someone I'd already been following or subscribed to, whatever word you want to use, and I knew they were going to do a live stream at this date, this time. It's like, oh, I'll try to catch that, And then in this particular instance, I was actually home at the right time to catch it. It was a DJ out of Britain. He kind of does what I like to do in a sense, but he actually does it with real records and equipment. Spin
He actually spins discs.
spins electronic music, drinking beer. Based off, he has multiple cameras, a couple different camera angles. So it's not professional. I mean, it's professional in the sense that he does a good job, but it's not like professional, true professional stuff. But he does a good job with where he has everything set up. But it looks like he just uses a little part of his flat. I use that word on purpose. and he has his turntable set up and his mixer, his little crossfader and mixer board, and he has a couple of different cameras positioned around, so he'll switch every now and then. It's obvious he's got a laptop or maybe even two outside the view of the camera. Because he'll kind of lean over and type, but you won't see what he's typing on. He'll kind of lean over and respond to the crowd as they're talking in the chat. But he'll change the camera view every now and then. I'm guessing like OBS style things where the camera might be on his hands. You're seeing his hands work the crossfader system and all that, or the cameras, usually it's above like this. So you see the turntables and him just kind of doing his thing, and he's drinking beer. I don't think he's drunk. He doesn't seem like he's drunk. He's just enjoying beer while he spins up a set for like 3 hours or something, But anyway, my point is that's the only time I've ever like actually waited for a YouTube live event to start. Now there are some channels subscribed to a live component, but it's not like I'm always there for the live. It's like a radio station. They just broadcast live, and they're just playing music. There's no video interaction. There's no nothing. It's just straight up like listening to a radio station.
Right. And that's the other thing. Different audiences are into right. Like I second that.
It's okay.
But back when Periscope was around, right? The Periscope audience. Oh, we have another comment. This is Sister 19 LOL online. Love the box, man.
Another bug. All right, thanks.
In any case, the Periscope audience, those folks really expected you to respond to them. Absolutely.
I see.
You're doing your broadcast. They wanted attention. They put their comment and they wanted you to say, "Oh, Angels 100 Firebot. That was so funny. Ha 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 ha." I'm gonna be mocking here, obviously. But still, they wanted attention. They wanted you to respond. I noticed on Facebook live streams, a little less so. They tend to chat amongst themselves while the broadcaster does whatever their broadcast is. So it's different audiences, different platforms.
Sure, I get it.
It'd be great if Periscope was still around. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any experience with it, but I believe you.
It was super fun, man. I loved Periscope. That was a great time. It was a good time in life.
It seemed like I remember when you were on it regularly when you were meeting with everybody you broadcast with. It seemed like you were really enjoying it, And all of a sudden it was gone, and then just like that.
Yeah. Well, but that's the way it goes when you use a free thing.
Yeah, true. True.
Look at the way Facebook is just heavy-handed and doesn't changes. And people scream about it. It's not fair. It's like it's free.
Whatever. Crap is easy.
Yeah, now they're meta. Whatever. Well, have you noticed that? Well, you haven't because you're not on Facebook.
I haven't noticed.
So you used to log into Facebook, and if you opened it up and you logged out every time, like you should with good cybersecurity, it'd come up and it would say Facebook. It's free and always will be. Guess what? It doesn't say anymore.
It's free.
And it always will be. It doesn't say that. It says something else. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. But I did. I was actually waiting for it to not say that.
You're like, this is going to change.
And who knows what's going to happen. It's going to stay free because if they start charging, they'll lose everybody. I mean, Facebook already has a quasi-bad reputation. They've already lost the young kids. The young crowd is gone.
If they just kept it neutral and not, what I mean by neutral is if they had just stopped violating privacy and just collecting data on you and just being this, just being marketing. I almost said a word, but
let's stick with PG-13. We're still there.
It would have taken us to rated R by so I'm glad I caught myself.
Good job, Steve. Good job.
My point is, Facebook probably could have kept their user base, a lot longer if they had just not done some of the dumb crap they did.
They were going to lose the young crowd. I mean, young kids don't. They're always after the new thing, the new cool thing.
I'm sure I get that. You know,
And
TikTok is the new cool thing right now, dude.
right,
TikTok is like owning the world.
yeah. It's just like, I'm still not on TikTok.
I never will be. Maybe because I'm an old curmudgeon, I don't know, but I do not care about the TikTok platform. I don't care about 7-second videos or whatever the little stupid thing is. The boundaries of a TikTok thing just does not appeal to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. My wife lives in TikTok, and
Some of them are
sometimes
hilarious.
some of them are hilarious. Some of them are creative, yes. But that's one in every, I don't know, couple hundred, couple thousand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of it is just like, no, why am I gonna mindlessly stare at my phone scrolling through videos that last like 30 seconds?
Well, every so often you'll get some guy who like is kind of. There was some kid. I think he was Filipino. Maybe he was Southeast Asian descent, American,
Right.
but he definitely had like a Southeast Asian name. It's like Fawn something. I forget. This kid was amazing. I mean, he had a whole group of people that he worked with, like several friends, and it was just freaking hilarious. But this was not TikTok. This was when Twitter had this thing called Vine. And Vines were super short.
Yeah.
They were like 10, 15 seconds. Super short
I don't
videos.
understand why they call it Vines now.
I don't know. When they discontinued it,
They have any sense to me.
You know what doesn't make sense to me is the way that Twitter comes out with some amazing things. It's like, this is so cool. Why did you discontinue it?
Google does the same thing.
Yeah.
Google back in the day had some really good products. Some of their chat stuff they did, and then they get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem that Google faces is that nobody thinks of Google as anything but a search engine.
Yeah.
I don't think of Google as anything but a
I don't
search
either.
engine.
But I know they have a lot more than
Google Circles and Google Chats and Google Hangouts and Google
Some of the products they have now is ridiculous, I think. Some of the shit they used to have, it's like, man, that was cool.
I know some of the things they have, some, like this Google Docs thing, and so it's like it's got purpose, and I know a few people who use it. But I don't use it.
I have used it when I was working. In college, I used it a little bit. When I was working on my master's degree, it's just like, we would collaborate with it because it was essentially free collaboration.
Yeah, but there are other ways to do it that I liked.
But I didn't write papers or anything and do any homework.
No.
We would just use a Google shared document,
right,
to work. Because those online classes, we'd work as a group. And we used Google Docs as kind of our meeting point.
The bots have come.
Another one, huh?
Yes. Now we have Vloom today.
All right, come on, YouTube, Google, let's fix this bot crap. Seriously, nobody cares.
I don't even know what is that? What is the
I don't even know if
purpose
it's
of
a
that?
bot or not, but it's just, I don't know. It probably is.
I don't
Maybe it's AI. Maybe it's Google themselves, like
Yeah, but what
actually
is,
experimenting with AI.
what is the purpose? What does that do? Are those clickable? Can I click that?
I don't know. Hover over it, see what happens.
Not clickable. Not clickable.
I mean, it's just comments, right?
Yeah, it's just comments, and it doesn't.
Live stream comments, yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. It's just random letters.
Well, there was this weird channel for.
It's not even camel case. It's just like there.
Well, there was this weird channel that was like an internet phenomenon for a little bit. I can't remember what year it was. 2010, some kind of era. And the channel was named something Torso. I had a strange name.
Torso.
Yeah. And the videos would post these like short videos of tones and graphics changing. And people were like, "What the fuck is it?"
And welcome to R. Thanks a lot, Steve.
People were like, "Oh, yeah." We're like, "What is this?" And it turned out it was a testing channel that Google/YouTube had developed. It was some kind of like it was testing thresholds of something. It was using the Google technology.
How many ads they could put on a screen before people had seizures?
It wasn't like that. I don't know what it was. I know you're being sarcastic, but it was actually when I first saw it, I was like,
that was actually a Ready Player One reference. Yeah, I was being sarcastic, but did you ever see Ready Player One?
yeah, it's based on the book. There's actually a Ready Player 2.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
There's a book and a movie. So, or the movie's coming, I think, but the book is already out.
So
if you're into that.
I was totally being sarcastic, but that scene came from, of course, there's the evil corporation that's trying to take
Right.
over whatever that virtual universe that what's his face made, right? Which weird. I actually liked Ready Player One. I thought it was a fun.
I thought it was
movie.
fun. It was fun to watch. Yeah, it was adventurous.
I thought it was brilliant too because it took like this whole AI immersive virtual reality, and so it attracted to all these like young children. But then it used an 80s soundtrack, so it attracted people like us.
Yeah, the older dudes.
It's like, the demographic on this movie is going to be freaking huge!
Right.
And it was. It's like, well done. You nailed it.
Now, my point
All
was
virtual reality, and you play aha.
maybe these, I'm pointing at the screen, maybe these weird, what we think are bots might even be just Google AI experiments, man. Who knows, dude? I don't know.
That's really dumb, though. Why would you ruin a user experience?
I have no idea. I'm reaching, dude. It's because of that one particular weird channel that would just upload, like every minute would upload something. It was just tones and different shaped graphics, man. That's all it was.
Huh.
And I don't remember what they were testing. They were testing something. It was thresholds on something. I forget what it was. But anyway,
Stout.
it turned out to be Google itself, not some weird internet phenomenon. It was like, oh, that's it. This is Google. Okay.
Yeah, we can do a stout now.
All right. Astute.
Astute?
We'll do astute.
Do astute. We should probably, is that fixed, like ready to go, fixed?
It's
Bada bing, bada boom, just screw it on and screw the other one on and
Yeah.
it's good.
This is just like a half inch or whatever. This is 3/4 inch. It's like something you would buy for your washing machine. That's all it was. Boom.
Right on there, huh? No
Yep.
problem. No spraying of mist into the beer.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that sucks.
Did you ever get a new hose, by the way? Or do we need to watch out for that?
It was this hose that was doing that.
No, it was your hose that had the little pinhole leak, remember?
Oh, that's right. No, they don't have a new hose.
Okay, so we need to watch out for that.
But there's that other green hose that you bought. Remember when my hose froze?
That's right, I did. Did
So
I
I do
leave
have
that
a
here?
better hose, actually.
I did leave that here, right?
Yeah, it's out there by the faucet, actually, the spigot.
Oh, good deal. Ooh. That. What's this say?
So hopefully this actually does the right job.
Look at that.
What you got?
I got a gig for proofreading on fiber.
Oh, nice, dude.
Wow. 7 impromptus for piano solo.
You haven't had a gig in a while, have you?
Yeah, it's because I'm not pursuing it as aggressively as I should. In total, the music is about 70 pages. Not in a hurry, but I'm budget sensitive. Please let me know what you can do for me.
Budget sensitive.
And that happened at 4:30. I will have to get back to this gentleman. Then there's another one from YouTube. Now live on your channel. Why is YouTube notifying me that I went live? What are you doing with? What are you crimping? Oh no. Okay. I gotcha. I'm back with you.
I was trying to find some copper wire, but I couldn't find any. That I didn't have to buy 50 feet of. So I could fix this little springy thing. It'll be fine for tonight, though.
Did you get it fixed?
Oh
no, you didn't get the copper wire done yet.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
wire.
that'll be okay.
We
You
can
can
fine.
survive without that.
I might even just maybe I'll just jack some 40,000 safety wire and do it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
All right.
Got like 25 minutes until I add my next hops.
Okay.
It's amazing how slow this goes once you get to the boil portion of things. I think in future broadcasts, when we start the boil, we need to break out like guitars and amps and just rock out.
Maybe when it's warmer.
Well, if we turn the amps up enough, the amps will produce heat.
That's true. My other amp, the carbon, that TS100 power amp section, that thing produces a lot of heat.
I've noticed that when I turn on both my speakers in my studio actually gets warmer.
Oh same with those little KRKs, man. They produce a little bit of heat.
Yeah, I mean it's not huge, but it's actually noticeable though.
Right?
It's like it was.
All right. Sorry about the handy beer, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of foam, but that's okay. I happen to know
I
what
got
this tastes
something.
like, and it's great. This is going to be better than both those Scotch ales that we just drank.
Yeah, mine is heady as well.
I noticed that. That's
What happened there?
the Brits would be embarrassed to know you.
They would demand you top it off.
Well, they would be within their rights too.
I know, right? We're like, yeah, top it off.
That's like 4 ounces of beer that's not there.
All right.
Mainly air. Mainly air. That's a lot of space between the beer and the top of that glass. I happen to know it'll taste great. See, now this is downright sweet, but it's not like the Port Townsend Scotch Ale sweet, because it's got some added complexity to it. It's got definitely a stronger roasted character that kind of kicks in there. Try this again. I got a lot more beer, so I can try a lot more. We can keep trying to do the beer description for a whole beer. So it's not exactly minty. So it's sweeter, a little bit darker, well, a lot darker than the Port Townsend, and darker than the Boundary Bay too. Of course, this is a stout. It's not a Scotch ale. It's stronger. I can feel that it's a higher ABV than both those beers. I can feel that. So you got the whole kind of belly warming sensation going on. Taste it again. Slightly thicker mouthfeel. Both the Scotch ales we had before were a little bit thicker. Nothing like a Pilsner or a lager, or even like an IPA or a pale ale. Definitely there's more substance in the mouth zone type deal.
All right. Are you just sitting there in contemplation?
No, I'm describing this beer.
Oh.
I think it's sweeter, but it has a more bitter finish and a longer finish than both those Scotch ales. Taste your beer. Quickly, taste your beer now.
It's only the bottom of the keg. We've been drinking this for a while. That's right.
Yes, but we're analyzing. We're gonna get good.
No, I know. I'm just messing with them. It's really thick.
Okay, it is thick.
Definitely thick. Kind of sweet.
Yeah, sweeter than both the Scotch ales that we just had. Even the Port Townsend.
You think so? You think so?
Absolutely. Yes.
It is sweet, yeah.
It's sweeter than the Port Townsend, but there's something about it that doesn't make it, like, I didn't like the Port Townsend sweetness, whereas this one doesn't bother me.
This one doesn't have that weird, like, aftertaste, whatever that was,
See, I kind of think it has a longer, more bitter aftertaste. But I think that balances out the sweetness. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe, yeah.
It is thicker. This is thicker than both of those Scotch ales that we just tasted.
I don't remember if I screwed this one up or not. If I missed goof or something, because that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It got cold.
It's because I opened the door.
Like, it is cold in here.
Yeah, it is.
We are broadcasting from a garage in the
With the door open.
West with the door open a little bit.
In February.
In February.
It was cold on the mainland today.
Yeah.
33 degrees.
Oh, nice.
Almost got to freezing.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, man, we still need to finish your
Yeah, I mean, well,
your
that's
stuff. Get it ready for your.
so we've got 19 minutes until I need to add my hops.
Okay.
Second batch of hops.
This might be a good time to get your carboy ready.
Well, I was thinking about right at the 19-minute mark.
Oh, okay.
But now,
Whatever you want to do, man. Your call.
I need a bio break.
Oh, you're taking a bio break now.
Bio break!
Bio!
Blowing speaker dubstep sounds. Bio break.
And he's on a bio break.
Large, strange robot thing with flesh on it somewhere. Bio break.
Don't forget the dubstep bass has got to be in there every time. All right. Oh, this beer's smelling pretty good. Yeah, what is it with these things, huh? All right, I'll play your game. Let's see what we have here. Maddox Johnson. Oops. That's not right. All right, folks, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to reply to these bots, but I don't think it's going to do anything. Oh, I misspelled hour. Oh, well. Whatever. That looks like Russian Cyrillic. Yeah, these are BS as all can be. Sister 9 on line. Yeah. Huh.
What are you doing?
Why are you writing things?
Are you responding to our own?
I'm just responding to these potential bot, bug, aliens, whatever the hell these things are, you know? I misspelled hour. I meant the right hour. I wrote out. I've been drinking.
That's like the epitome of narcissism right there. Man, I should have brought a coat.
I can grab us a couple coats because it is chilly.
No, I don't fit in your coats because I'm fat.
I might have an extra large coat.
It's all right.
Maybe even extra large.
I'm pretty damn tough.
So, okay.
I mean, since you've already taken us to the R zone, we might as well just not even worry about language at this point.
No, we should.
Okay, try and dial it back, throw it back. So,
yes, we both dropped an F-bomb.
that
doesn't mean- but that-
which gave you great mirth, by the way.
That doesn't mean we gotta keep doing it.
That's true. You're absolutely.
It was it was really an accident. It wasn't like we were trying to be, you know, that way. It's just,
Yeah, no.
it slipped on us. No, I was just having, while you were using the bio, I was having fun with these. Like, ooh, I'll just respond and see what happens.
You never know, man.
And obviously, I just cut and pasted the one guy's thing or the one bot's thing.
I see that.
Sister Lowell online. Okay.
All right, Sister Lowell.
If you're an AI out there, like, you know, running the internet behind us, or, you know, if you're sentient, then, well, whatever.
I really don't know what those things do. That's the most
I don't either.
confusing part. It would be one thing if it was like, oh, I can obviously see where they want you to click on something, or by
Right.
doing this, it does this, or they can collect data with it. But it's just random characters.
Why is it doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
make sense.
the only thing I can think of is some kind of test, but I could be just way off on that too, man.
It's true.
I probably am. I probably am. It's like,
I have no guess.
why are you every time we come online, we get those kind of weird,
Right. It took them
just
a
on
while.
Facebook, we get those kind of weird comments though.
YouTube. It took them a while to get
Right,
here, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't show up for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't get it.
Whatever.
We should talk about rabbit.
Rabbit?
Coconut rabbit, to be precise.
Oh, a dish you're making, huh?
Which, well, I made.
You made, yeah. I've had your coconut rabbit before.
Yeah, it's good stuff, right?
It is good. It is good.
So I took it to
Something like
the,
a bone from the rabbit. It's just
yeah,
like,
I prove it. Yeah, especially if you get the bone chips, because when you butcher the rabbits, you just kind of. I actually use tin snips to cut the legs off. Timo calls them the crunchers, but yeah, just crunch right through the back legs.
oh, man.
It's too hard to find the joint and stuff. I mean, the front legs, I find the joint, right?
Right.
So pop it off right at the joint, cut through the tendons and whatever, and the joint comes apart. The back legs, just crunch.
we'll just clip them like
Just-
rose bush, you know.
Just bust right through them. But these, I didn't, so this was for a church today, right?
Oh, okay.
Because you know what my church does.
Oh, you did your lunch thing, huh?
Yeah, we do lunch every Sunday. That's part of the tradition, is that we go down, and so the church is divided up into teams, and
Right,
once a month, your team
Your turn,
provides
yeah.
lunch. So it was my turn, which made last night really painful. So I got home, and since we didn't drink because it was your wife's birthday, and so we didn't drink, so I was like, hey, you want to go out? She's like, I want to go try that Castile place, which was okay. Solid family restaurant. Castile. You know where the old Holland Inn is? With the big,
Oh, that was a
Windows.
crystal or something.
no, Castile. Castile.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
In any case, it's part of the old Holland Inn,
Yeah.
right? Run completely by Mexicans. I imagine they're Mexicans. But it says Mexican American, and they have both. We only tried the Mexican food though, but it's definitely, like I said, good solid family restaurant, right? The
Oh.
price was not outrageous.
Did the Mexican food seem genuine? I mean,
Well, yeah, it seemed like Mexican
or
food.
did it seem like northern Mexican food? I mean, what I mean by that is like you go to places.
No,
like,
I
oh,
get
we-
it.
We serve Mexican food. You're just like, this is not Mexican
It's
food.
like, that was Mexican food made by a white girl. We get it. No, it seemed like regular old Mexican food. It was good.
This is authentic.
You know, yeah. And the waitress definitely, so Wendy and I were speaking Spanish the whole time, which
Oh.
is really weird because Wendy never speaks Spanish to me. Right? But we're sitting down and we're just speaking, she's speaking Spanish. I'm like, okay, let's speak Spanish. So we're having a conversation in Spanish, talking about things. And it was interesting. The waitress would come up and Wendy would switch to English. And so one time the waitress comes up and I just kept going in Spanish. And the waitress is like, oh, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, you are white. You speak Spanish, huh?
¿Debes hablar español ahora? It's just like, yeah, go ahead, speak in Spanish now, right? I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Right.
You know, they gave me a hard time because I am obviously the whale. You know,
You are the where. You're the wero.
blue eyes,
The
super pale
wero.
skin. Yeah, you are the wero. Anyhow, so, but she was really nice, you know, and so definitely a Mexican family. You know, most of the Mexican restaurants that are in town are family
They're usually
run.
family ran, yeah.
Yeah, they're all family.
Our
run.
old favorite, which is no longer a Mexican restaurant anymore, but it was a family run place.
What was that?
The old Valle Azul, man. It's not.
You know, I never went to Valle Azul.
That was our favorite.
Really? We go to Esteban's. We actually, so
That's now our favorite.
we started at El Cazador.
No, I don't like it because of
Well, we don't go there anymore either. But we didn't know any better. So we went there, right? And there was a waitress there. And I really liked her because she was really nice and she would speak Spanish and she would not switch to English. She spoke English,
Right.
but she wasn't one that's like, look, I got tables to wait. Let's just do this in English. She didn't do that. She stumbled through my, at the time, horrendous Spanish. Right down to the fact that she never gave me a hard time for saying de nalgas.
Didn't.
Do you know what de nalgas means? Yes. know that 20 years ago.
Ah.
So she's like, gracias, de nalgas.
De nalgas. She looked at you like, what?
For any of those of you who may have made it to the replay to this point and don't know what Spanish means, essentially she said, thank you. And I said, butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks. That's right.
Nalgas or
Buttocks.
butt cheeks?
Not necessarily crude. I didn't say ass or anything.
No,
I just said
butt
buttocks. Butt cheeks.
Yeah, what he meant to say was get nada. but
Exactly.
but he
But it is.
slipped a little bit.
Well, no, I said exactly what I said on purpose because I didn't know.
Well, right. I guess I was kind of softening the blow.
And guess whose Spanish-speaking significant other didn't do a damn thing about it?
Oh, she probably loved it. She was like,
Just sat there. Sat there.
My white husband, you know.
I was like, yeah, your white husband for how much longer?
The only reason I don't speak Spanish at all. I'm not fluent. The only reason I know that is because where I'm from, I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, so I am from a border town. But I learned some phrases. I know, of course, I know cliche, all the bad words and cuss words, but I could not carry a conversation. But I do know nada. So
That's just funny. So anyhow, so to continue the story, she was there. She got to know the boys' names. She knew who the boys were.
Nice.
And then she moved to Esteban's.
Ah, nice.
And so we followed. I don't know how we found out that she went to Esteban's, but we found out.
Maybe ask one. They're like, oh yeah, she's at Esteban's.
Yeah, I don't know how we found out. Or maybe we went to Esteban's just randomly and there she was. She's not there anymore. She's back up in Bellingham or somewhere, right? But love that girl.
Right.
Because seriously, she would not switch to English.
Right.
Not the whole, because you know you've run into waiters or waitresses who are like that. It's like, yes, thank you, white boy. You speak Spanish. Can we do you want the flour tortillas or the corn tortillas?
Right.
And you're like, quiero
donde
está? You know, and they're all impatient and they're not nice at all. It's like, look, come on. I am trying to do this here. We're in America. It's not like I'm trying to impress you in your country.
Right.
Well, you know, to be honest, it's not necessarily their country. They might be straight up American.
Right. They could be like fifth generation.
Yeah, you never know. Although speaking Spanish and speaking English with that thick of an accent, unlikely.
It was a fake accent.
Fake accent.
Because I have seen Asian people do fake Asian accents.
Have you really?
And then they're just like, I'm just kidding, man. And their English is like perfect. You're like, you got me, dude. You know?
It's like, where are you really from? Michigan. Oh, okay.
I grew up in Michigan, Flint.
Oh, okay. You know, when someone comes with an accent or speaks an accent, you know, I'm actually, I don't know if it's maybe excessive sensitivity type deal, but I'm careful to say, where's your accent from?
Right.
Or if someone comes in and they don't have an accent, but they have a very distinct last name, you know, it's like, where's your last name from?
Right.
You know,
The way I've done it is if I'm talking to somebody and I can detect an accent, I always love that. Oh,
well, yeah,
it's not from here. You know,
it's genuine curiosity. It's like, where are you from,
and it's
man?
just like I'll say something like, I detect a slight accent. May I ask, where are you from? You know, and then they'll be, oh yeah, I'm from wherever. It's like, that's awesome. You know, if I've been there, then I'll be like, yeah, I actually got to visit your country one time. You know.
Well, that's like there's a girl. She hasn't been in a while, but her name is Hawanani, which is
I can't place the name.
that's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian. Okay.
Is it Hawaiian or
But
Hawaiian?
It's an islander name though, right?
Yeah, it's an islander,
Yeah.
Pacific Islands. I forget. Anyways, you know, she comes in. My name's Nani, and it's like and she spells her whole name out. I was like, wait, I got this. She's like, really? You can see it. Really, white boy?
Right. I got this.
I got this, girl. Are you ready? And I said it for a second. Hawanani. She's like, oh. I did it with another guy the other day. I forget. But he was a guy that had two vowels and then like constant vowel thing, you know, and stuff.
Germany or something, you know?
No, it was what was it? I think it was Pacific Islander.
15
yeah.
consonants in a row.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. It was short.
Oh, okay.
It was short. It was like 5 or 6 letters. But it was like Ialai, you know, Ialai, you know, something like that. Something like that. Anyways, I looked at it and I said, let me give it a shot. He's like, all right, man. I was like, and I shot it out there. He's like, wow, you are like 95% there. I I was like, thank you. He's like, and then we started chatting about Spanish. He's like, you know what? I used to live in Texas. And he said, and I found that the people who spoke Spanish got much closer to my name than the people who
It
didn't.
makes sense because of the way the Spanish alphabet is pronounced. In some
Yeah.
cases, you know. It's a little
And
different.
there are things in Spanish where there's a lot of glottal stops, you know, where it's like hacer.
Oh,
right.
The
English
accents.
doesn't do that where you like say a vowel and you just and then.
No, we just kind of.
Well, like think about it. For example, do we say a apple or an apple?
An apple. I say
Right.
an apple.
Well, that's because in English we say
Right.
an apple.
Yeah.
We always put a consonant.
Right.
We very rarely in English have two vowels right next to each other.
But I do say a page in the book, though.
Right. A page.
Yeah.
A
Oh, because
page.
consonant. Yeah. That makes sense.
Now there are
I've
times
seen
when
writing where people use "and" intentionally, where it doesn't make any sense.
well, there's like an historic event, which seems weird because historic is like you've got the consonant there, but it's an historic is actually correct.
See, I would say a historic event.
Right. See, so would I. It's like a historic
Just kind of
event.
thinking back, I'm like, I'd probably say,
But
maybe it depends on the.
I think if you really drill down to it, an historic event is the
Is
correct
probably
way.
the correct way to say, yeah.
But we do have places where we have vowels stacked on each other. To attack. That's a good one. Just because it popped into my head.
To
It's
attack.
like to attack. But because our language is filled with diphthongs, it's still not that glottal stop.
What the hell was that?
There's a fly or a bug or something. We live in a
Which
land
is,
where
hold on, man. I have not seen anything in this house for ages. And all of a sudden I put my beer down, and this little thing goes, just like that.
we're having a great conversation, and now we're talking about
Because I pay for a service that's supposed to keep those things away from me. Anyway,
maybe you need to pay more.
no, maybe I need to cancel it.
Maybe you need to cancel.
No. Anyway,
Point being,
go ahead.
so we don't do a lot of glottal stops, like Hawaii,
Right.
right? So think about it. I'm not a big. It's not like I'm some sort of academic on the Hawaiian language, but I'm pretty sure that if you were to say it as a Hawaiian, it would be Hawaii.
Right.
Whereas we say Hawaii.
Yeah,
Hawaii, right? And those are called diphthongs, where one letter has two sounds. I. Actually, that's three. That is I-Y-A. I. If you really stretch it out, I.
Right.
We do it with all the letters. A. O. U. You know, E.
Yeah.
Whereas in other languages, like in Italian, it's I. It's
Right.
E, but you don't put the E on there. E. So anyway, Spanish is one of those languages where you'll have that, where you'll stop a vowel, but you won't put a diphthong. You know, you just hacer. And granted, when they're doing high speed, when they're speaking conversationally, it comes out hacer.
Right.
And
That's
you
quite
can't hear
cool.
it. Why are you
Why are you
there?
talking shit to us?
We might as well break out the dancing girls and the booze and have like a gunfight here.
Thing sucks.
Are you stuck?
Just a little too fat to get under there, are
Don't
we,
make fun of my
sweetie?
fat ass.
If I push the button, is it gonna go up or down?
I
I hate
don't. You need to get out from under there.
Yeah, honestly, Riley, we don't know if I push
I
the
don't know
button.
if it's gonna go down or
I don't know if it's gonna go down or up.
Yeah, I
But
got to do my fat ass. Damn it.
here, I'll raise it for you if it needs to come out.
That was funny.
Yeah, see, it went down.
Yeah, that would have hurt briefly. So.
Yep.
Oh, 27 seconds.
27 seconds. All right.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe we should go ahead and call it.
Yeah, it's that time.
It is that time.
Time to call it.
All right. So, anyways, just interesting. So he had one of those names, and because Spanish has those glottal stops and things like that, I got really close to his name.
Right.
I forget what we were talking about, but it doesn't matter. Hey, we
We're all over
are.
the place.
That makes it great, though. We are done. We got 10 minutes. We're gonna add another set of hops here. Then I gotta rinse out a carboy. Dinner's done. We gotta get to sanitizing and moving around, and there's lots of motion that's gonna happen in the next few. So, thanks for not being here because there was nobody except for the bots. But if you are a replay viewer and you somehow managed to make it all the way to the end, you are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Go to Spain someday or Mexico. Talk with them. Anyways, Mexican restaurant was good. I'd go there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'd crawl across broken glass, but anyways, you know, whatever. Hey, we are the Northwest Brewmeisters. Relax. Have a homebrew. Or wait, stop. Let's try that again. Back up. There's more to it. Steve, even though Steve ruined my entrance, I'm not gonna ruin the exit. That's right. I'm gonna do it right. All right. So I'm Jamie.
I'm Steve.
So relax. Don't worry. Have a homebrew.
Wow.